Chapter 129. This song, Chasing Dream with a Childlike Heart, is a very special work in Lu Chen's dream world. At first, it didn't attract much attention, and many people didn't know this song. But later, because of a cartoon, it suddenly became popular and spread everywhere on the internet, touching countless people's tears, so it won a wide range of young people's love and became a classic rock and roll work. Under the interpretation of the original singer of this song, the exciting lyrics are expressed in a high tone and roaring voice. Its rather eccentric singing and almost hysterical emotional expression make the work have a strange charm, which makes people more moved the more they listen to it. However, Lu Chen didn't imitate this singing method, because it didn't match his vocal characteristics. He temporarily replaced this song as the competition track, and asked Gurue, the music director of Singing China program group, and the accompaniment band to help rearrange the song. Therefore, in terms of style, there has been a lot of change compared with the original. But the lyrics haven't changed, the melody hasn't changed, and the emotion is still strong. When Lu Chen sang this song, he first gradually accumulated his emotions. In the front, there was repression and endurance, pain and pursuit, lonely introspection and sober melancholy, and also the confrontation between sensibility and rationality. The future is always calling to me, even if it's only accompanied by pain. I have to move forward bravely. I want to sail in the bluest sea there. I don't care if I can return. He was dispirited after his failure. That's the performance of a coward. As long as there's still a breath left, please clench your fists. Just before the day broke, we have to be braver. Wait for the most dazzling moment at sunrise. However, when the complex emotions accumulated in him to the apex, they suddenly burst out. Run forward, facing the cold eyes and ridicule. How can the vastness of life be felt without suffering? Fate, it can't make us kneel and beg for mercy even if the blood spilled all over our arms. Keep running. With the pride of a child, how can we see the brilliance of life if we don't persist to the end? It's better to burn than to linger on. For the beauty in our hearts, don't compromise until we get old. There was no noise in the huge venue. Only Lu Chen's singing and the band's performance echoed in the space, repeatedly striking everyone's eardrums and deafening them. No one would have thought that Lu Chen would actually take out a rock and roll piece, and it was so special, how hot-blooded. In the basement of the old house on the side of the 4th Ring Road in Beijing, Chen Xiang stared at the screen and his whole body was trembling. He felt as if there was something roaring and howling inside his body, wanting to rush out. Lu Chen's song reminded Chen Xiang of the time when he had just arrived in the capital and what he had experienced. At that time, he had a dream, but he was badly beaten by reality. Due to his lack of education, he had to work everywhere in order to survive. He had handed out flyers on the streets, washed dishes in restaurants, ran express deliveries, and solicited business. He didn't know how many times he had been ignored and looked at coldly, and how many times he had wanted to give up and return to his hometown. But Chen Xiang persevered. Life taught him to be strong and made him understand the importance of knowledge. While working hard to make money, he studied hard, and finally found a job that suited his profession. At the same time, he really settled down in Beijing, so that the little spark of dream in his heart was not extinguished. After so much, Chen Xiang thought he was already very brave and strong. But now when he heard this song, Chasing Dream with a Childlike Heart, his mood collapsed in an instant. Running forward, facing the cold eyes and ridicule, how can the vastness of life be felt without suffering? Fate can't make us kneel down and beg for mercy. Chen Xiang gritted his teeth and clenched his fists before he finished listening to the song. Then he picked up the soaked instant noodles on the table, rolled the noodles with a plastic fork and ate them slowly. Unconsciously, tears filled his eyes. After a long time, there was a sudden burst of fierce applause in the stadium, and in an instant, a huge wave of sound reached a climax. Many people stood up and applauded and cheered for Lu Chen. Lu Chen bowed deeply to them, and there was a trace of tears in his eyes. Then the judges, Tan Hong and Lin Jijie stood up first, and Chen Fei, and Zhen Zhen were only half a step behind. There was also the live band. When Lu Chen saluted and thanked them, these musicians, who have always been very proud, saluted him in unison, as if they were completing a grand ceremony. It took several minutes for the live broadcast to calm down. The four judges sat down again, and Tan Hong said, I don't want to give too many comments on this song. Although it's still a little rough and not perfect, I give it 10 points. After that, Tan Hong pressed the scoring device hard, and the golden number, 10, appeared on the big screen. Lu Chen smiled and thank you, Teacher Tan, no. Tan Hong shook his head solemnly and said, I want to thank you for letting me hear a good song that is moving and worth listening to with my heart. In you, I see the hope of the future of pop music. In a reality talent show, it's common for judges to praise contestants. Sometimes, in order to highlight the effect of the show or to cooperate with the hype, they will even say it very mushy, which can make people have goosebumps. But what kind of person is Tan Hong? With his status and strength in the circle, he doesn't need to do this kind of immoral thing at all. Therefore, his appreciation of Lu Chen is entirely from the heart. Tan Hong likes this song with the new rock spirit very much, surpassing all of Lu Chen's previous works. He gave Lu Chen 10 points because the highest score was only 10 points. Lin Jijia also gave Lu Chen 10 points. The music director of Flying Stone Records said, it would have been better if you had been born 20 years earlier. 20 years ago, it was still the golden age of the singing industry, and it was also the era of the rise of heroes and the emergence of heavenly kings and queens. Lin Jijia thinks that was the best era of pop music. It was the most suitable era for Lu Chen. Tan Hong laughed heartily. Chen Fei said, Lu Chen, do you know? I was going to give you 10 points, but Big Brother Tan Hong has already given you 10 points, so I'll give you 9 points. There was a soft hubbub in the venue, and many people didn't understand Chen Fei. Why did Tan Hong give 10 points, and she give 9 points? Tan Hong's laughter turned into a wry smile, and he couldn't help shaking his head. What a willful little sister. He knew that it was because Chen Fei, liked Shi Jia very much. He just gave Shi Jia 9 points, so he wanted to get back at her. But Tan Hong couldn't object. Scoring was the right of the judges. Seeing the helpless expression on Tan Hong's face, Chen Fei's lips evoked a beautiful arc. She gently pressed the scoring device. On the big screen, a big number immediately appeared. 10. Chen Fei didn't give Lu Chen a score of 9 points, but 10 points. An instant turnaround. She pursed her lips and said with a smile, I'm kidding, Lu Chen. Your song is really good. It deserves full marks. It's hard to imagine that such a beautiful swan and cunning white fox woman is already over 30 years old. Lin Jijia said with a smile, you brothers and sisters all gave 10 points, so I'll also give 10 points. He gave Lu Chen a thumbs up, good song. As Tan Hong said, this song doesn't need too much evaluation. A full score is enough. Zhen also gave 10 points. She said, this song makes me feel the strength to work hard. A full score is well deserved. All four judges gave 10 points, and Lu Chen's total score was 40 points. He surpassed his opponent Shi Jia's 38 points in one fell swoop. Shi Jia stood in the waiting area and applauded with the audience. Her face was regretful, but not sad. Although she knew that she had lost. A full score of 40 points had never appeared in the stage of the tour competition. Lu Chen was the first to get it. Only he could do it. Shi Jia didn't feel wrong to lose to Lu Chen. After Lu Chen thanked him, the host came on stage and invited Shi Jia back. He was going to announce the final result. First was Shi Jia. Judges' total score, 38 points. Audience votes, 4,875 votes. Audience votes outside the venue, 428,530 votes. Overall score, 97. 52 points. Then Lu Chen. Judges' total score, 40 points. Audience votes, 4,623 votes. Audience votes outside the venue, 725,506 votes. Overall score, 98. 79 points. There was no suspense in the result. Lu Chen defeated Shi Jia and won the 6th place in the top 10 in the country. His overall score was ranked first. Although Lu Chen lost more than 200 votes to Shi Jia in the audience votes, his judges' score was higher by 2 points, and the audience votes completely crushed the latter. The advantage was very obvious. Congratulations. When the final result was announced, Shi Jia still showed deep disappointment. However, she didn't lose her composure because of this. She still congratulated Lu Chen in a very graceful manner. "Thank you." Lu Chen shook hands with her. He didn't know how to comfort her. After all, he was the winner. Should he say that the other party performed very well? Maybe he would be scolded for being hypocritical, or arrogant. He might as well simply express his gratitude. Wouldn't others say that he was acting like a big shot? He was really a little afraid of being slandered. Fortunately, at this time, Chen Fei ran to the stage and held Shi Jia in his arms, which also relieved Lu Chen of the embarrassment. The Queen of Sweet Songs whispered a few words in Shi Jia's ear, and the latter's face suddenly changed. Surprised or pleasantly surprised? Lu Chen was a little curious, but he was too embarrassed to ask, so he went backstage to rest. Like Lu Chen, Tan Hong was also curious. When Chen Fei came back, he asked, "What did you say to Shi Jia?" Chen Fei rolled her eyes at her senior brother and said, "This is a woman's secret." Tan Hong smiled bitterly. It had been more than 10 years, and his junior sister didn't seem to have changed. But the PK had to continue. It was just that the following competition had nothing to do with Lu Chen. Now he just needed to enjoy the taste of victory. Chapter 130. On August 22nd, Singing China program team successfully completed the national competition tour and returned to Beijing. In another 7 days, on August 29th, the last competition of Singing China, that is, the national top 10 final, will be held in the newly opened T1 studio of Beijing Television. On the same day, Shonan TV's Super Singer had just ended, and the ratings barely broke through 4%. Ling Xiaoxiao, a newcomer who was once highly touted, did not perform well in the final and only finished 5th. In the showdown of the ace variety shows of the 2 satellite TV stations, the first season of Singing China won Super Singer. Singing China's live competition in Beihai Stadium on the 20th reached 5.76% in the ratings. The industry speculates that the final national final should be able to easily break 6 points, and even hope to reach 7 points. Whether it's 6 points or 7 points, it's a victory worthy of pride for Beijing Television. As one of the top 10 singers in the country, Lu Chen also returned to Beijing with the program team. In fact, he could have stayed in Beihai for 2 more days, but there were still a lot of things to do in Beijing, so he could only come and go in a hurry, and didn't have a good taste of the beauty of the tropical islands in the South China Sea. Work and responsibility are like invisible whips, spurring Lu Chen to move forward. It's far from the time to lie down and rest and enjoy. On the second day after returning to Beijing, Lu Chen personally interviewed a job seeker in his studio. Chen Xiang, 22, graduated from Fangshan University, majoring in computer application. He has been in Beijing for more than a year and is currently working as a programmer in an internet company. Fangshan University belongs to one of the 3 universities in China, that is, a third-rate university, and the value of academic qualifications is very low. In Beijing, where there are so many talents, he is not even a small shrimp in the sea. It is almost impossible for him to find a good job. It should be known that even a graduate like Lu Chen has run into walls everywhere. Although the recruitment requirements of Lu Chen's studio are not high, they are not low to this extent. To put it bluntly, a 3-legged toad is hard to find, and 2-legged college students are everywhere in Beijing. But Chen Xiang's academic performance is still very good. He gets scholarships every year in college. He works very hard in Beijing. His work performance is remarkable. At least he has some talent. Most importantly, Chen Xiang has a special identity. He is a member of Lu Chen fan group, Lu Jiejun. Moreover, he was a veteran hardcore fan. He had contacted Lu Chen through Li Feiyu and came over for the interview. "Why do you want to work here?" Lu Chen asked curiously. Your future with me is definitely not as good as your current company. Although Chen Xiang's current company is not a big company, it belongs to a real IT company, belonging to the kind of new enterprise with great potential for development. In terms of professional nature and career prospects, it was far better than Lu Chen's small studio. Apart from salary and conditions, promotion channels and career prospects were also very important when looking for a job. Lu Chen's studio is a small group dedicated to Lu Chen's own service. The current recruitment of network management personnel is mainly responsible for the construction and maintenance of the studio's website, as well as online marketing. Lu Chen has no intention of expanding the studio into a big company for the time being, so the requirement for applicants is stability and reliability. However, young people, especially the Beijing drifters, come to Beijing to work hard with the dream of doing a career. The small Lu Chen studio obviously can't satisfy their desire for progress. In this regard, Lu Chen will tell any interviewee frankly, and will not deceive or mislead others. When he first came to Beijing to look for a job, he encountered such an unscrupulous company and almost fell into it. Lu Chen was very disgusted with this. During the period when he left Beijing to tour, Lu Shi has interviewed many job seekers, but the other party is either arrogant, has high standards but low ability, or has poor level and ability. So far, no suitable candidate has been found. A truly outstanding talent would not settle for an obscure personal studio. I know, Chen Xiang said with a wry smile, but with my education, I can only be at the bottom of the company, and I can't be promoted. Moreover, the salary for working overtime every day is not high, and I'm doing repetitive and boring work. I can't improve myself. So I want to try the studio. At least with Brother Chen here, I can do more work independently, and I also have time and opportunity to continue to learn and enrich myself. I will work hard. He graduated from college a year earlier than Lu Chen and the same age as Lu Chen, but he was born 2 months younger than Lu Chen. Lu Chen and Lu Shi looked at each other, and the latter nodded slightly. Originally, the recruitment of employees should be done by Lu Shi, but Chen Xiang's situation is a bit special, plus professional reasons, so Lu Chen is still the chief examiner. But Lu Chen also has to respect his sister's wishes. Lu Shi has no objection. Chen Xiang is thin and tall, with an ordinary appearance. He is obviously not the kind of person who can talk. It can be seen that he has a good character and belongs to the kind of employee who is willing to work hard. His education and ability may not be very strong, but it is enough for the current Lu Chen studio. Lu Chen thought about it and said, well, since you have made up your mind, come and try it with me. The same major, coupled with similar experience as a drifter in Beijing, made Lu Chen identify with Chen Xiang. So why not let him try? Chen Xiang suddenly felt relieved. Great, thank you, Brother Chen. He couldn't help beaming with joy. Lu Shi added, we will first be on probation for half a month, and then sign a formal contract after the probation period. The monthly salary of the formal treatment is 3,500 yuan, with 5 insurances and 1 housing fund, 500 yuan for board and lodging, and performance benefits and year-end bonuses will be calculated separately. If there is no problem, let's sign a trial employment contract first. She asked, do you have any problems? No. Chen Xiang quickly replied, no problem, no problem. This kind of treatment is already better than his current company, and the half-month probation period is very kind. Many companies recruit newcomers, and the probation period is often as long as 3 months, which is the maximum period stipulated by the law. Then for these 3 months, only the minimum wage is guaranteed, and the newcomers are asked to work like cattle and horses, in the name of training and exercise. In the end, they refuse to sign a formal contract for various reasons and are kicked out. Chen Xiang has been fooled when he was looking for a job before, and he was cheated. A half-month probation period is really too kind. He secretly made up his mind to work hard here. Lu Shi smiled and said, if there is no problem, then when can you come to work? Chen Xiang said, I can come tomorrow. He was so impatient that Lu Chen and Lu Si were stupefied. Lu Chen was surprised, can you resign so soon? The normal resignation process usually takes 10 days to half a month to complete, and even several months. Unless it is that kind of temporary job. Chen Xiang said with a wry smile, I offended the project team director. He wants me to get out of here, so I can resign tomorrow. Chen Xiang himself can't tell how he offended this boss. Since he took office, the other party has always been displeased with him. He often raised his eyebrows and looked at him vertically. Not only did he criticize his work, but he also ridiculed him from time to time. It's just that this job is not easy to get, so Chen Xiang silently endured. Yesterday was supposed to be his rest day, but he was caught working overtime by the director and was scolded. Chen Xiang was so angry that he quarreled with the other party. The relationship between the two sides was completely broken, so even if he did not take the initiative to resign, he would not be able to work in this company for long. After the fight, Chen Xiang remembered that Li Feiyu had mentioned in the live broadcast that Lu Chen had opened a studio, so he tried to get the contact information and asked if there was any need for professional-related employees. As a result, his luck was good. Lu Chen's studio was really recruiting network managers. Lu Chen didn't ask about it and said, you don't have to be in such a hurry. We'll give you 3 days to solve it. It's a start and an end. Anyway, this job is yours. Chen Xiang nodded hard, okay. In fact, in Chen Xiang's heart, there is something that he didn't say to Lu Chen. That is, he quarreled with the project team director yesterday. The reason why he couldn't control his emotions at that time was that he listened to the song, Chasing Dream with a Childlike Heart, sung by Lu Chen live that night. It was this song that awakened the blood that he had been suppressing. Chen Xiang can endure the hard and tedious work, and can endure the unfair and discriminatory treatment. But he also has dignity. Today, he came to Lu Chen's studio with the idea of burning the boat. If he can't get the interview here, then he is ready to go back to his hometown and never come back again. And Lu Chen gave him a chance to start over. After sending away Chen Xiang, Lu Chen went to Nirvana Studios. Both studios are in the same park, and the distance between each other is only 10 minutes walk, so it is very convenient. Lu Chen's debut album has been in the midst of intense production, and Nirvana Studios' attention is even higher than his. Whether it is the arrangement or the accompaniment, they are all excellent. Since the beginning of the month, Lu Chen has been running around with the program team, so the production of the album has inevitably been affected, but the work of Nirvana Studios has not been interrupted. Now that he is back, he naturally has to pull back the backward progress. This album carries Lu Chen's first music dream. If there are no accidents, he is ready to officially release his debut album next month, in September. Chapter 131. Hohai, forget Grass Bar. It was just past 7 in the evening and the bar was already full. The customers were sitting in groups of 3 to 5. They were either whispering and laughing or drinking and playing cards, making the atmosphere lively but not noisy. Wow! The bartender, David, had an exaggerated expression on his face as he asked Lu Chen, who had just arrived at the bar, "Little boss, is this beautiful lady your companion for tonight? May I know her name?" His eyes were shining as he stared at the woman beside Lu Chen, as if he had discovered a treasure. Although David was not a real Westerner, he had grown up abroad, so his way of thinking was not much different from a foreigner. When he saw something he liked, he would directly express it. If the other party was not brought by Lu Chen, he would have immediately used all his skills to strike up a conversation. Lu Chen sneered, "This is my sister. If you dare to have any crooked thoughts, be careful that I get angry." "Sorry." David hurriedly raised his hands in surrender and made a pitiful look. "I didn't know this was your sister. Can I treat the two of you to a glass of tequila sunrise?" Lu Chen knew this guy's temperament very well, so he laughed. "How can one glass be enough? At least 2 glasses." David said with a bitter face, "All right then." The bartender, who had suffered a loss, could only resentfully turn around to make a cocktail. She was not angry. This was the first time she was called a beautiful lady. Instead, she felt that this bartender was quite interesting. Looking around curiously, she commented, "This bar isn't bad. The style of the Forget Grass bar's decoration was quite good. It had a bit of a reputation in Hohai's circle. Moreover, the customers who frequented this place were mostly of high quality, so the atmosphere was naturally different from ordinary places. Lu Chen smiled. We have 5% of the shares. Lu Shi had known about it for a long time, and through Lu Chen's introduction, she had already met Chen Jinhao. As Lu Chen's agent and studio manager, Lu Shi's biggest problem was her lack of experience. She had never done the same job before. Although she could look up information, she felt that it was not enough. The unspoken rules of many industries were not something that could be found by typing on the keyboard. And Chen Jinhao just happened to be able to help her understand the circle that Lu Chen was in. He had always been a person in the circle, and he had a wide range of contacts in the circle. He had friends from all walks of life, so naturally, his experience was very rich. Lu Chen didn't know how powerful his boss was before. It wasn't until he jumped out of the bar that he realized how deep his boss was. Therefore, he asked Chen Jinhao to help guide his sister. If there was any problem, it was also very convenient for Lu Shi to call and ask directly. Now Lu Shi and Chen Jinhao were half master and disciple, but it was her first time coming to Forget Grass Bar. Today's day was a bit special. Xiao Lu. Lu Chen heard the sound and saw Chen Jinhao standing in front of the railing upstairs and waving to him, "Come up." He hurriedly pulled Lu Shi upstairs. The upstairs was also full, but the VIP seats were basically reserved as usual. One of the seats was already occupied by 4 people. When they saw Lu Chen and Lu Shi, they got up and greeted, "De Chen, Sister Lu Shi, Li Feiyu, Chen Xiaomei, Chen Xiang, and Chen Xian." All the current members of Lu Chen's studio were gathered together. In addition to Chen Jinhao, the honorary consultant. Lu Chen said, "Everyone sit down, let's drink and talk." Chen Jinhao frowned and asked, "What the hell are you doing? Why did you all come here at night?" The members of Lu Chen's studio were all here, and the Bionics and Sister Na were all here. When he came here just now, he met a lot of old bar customers downstairs. Everyone smiled mysteriously when they greeted each other. As an experienced person, Chen Jinhao judged that there must be a conspiracy. Unfortunately, even David firmly shut his mouth. No matter how he threatened or tempted him, he didn't speak. Lu Chen asked, "Brother Kenho, do you know what day it is today?" Chen Jinhao was stunned. What day? He remembered that today was Thursday, August 27th. What's so special about it? Lu Chen said with a smile, "You'll know later." He said to Lu Shi, "Sister, you have fun here with everyone. I'll pay for all the expenses tonight." Lu Shi nodded. "Well, you go." Lu Chen said to Chen Jinhao again, "Brother Kenho, let's go down." Chen Jinhao was confused by him. He was completely confused. He went downstairs and asked, "Where are we going?" Lu Chen said with a smile, "I'm going backstage to prepare for the performance. So many old customers are here. You can accompany them." Chen Jinhao really admired him. "You finally know that many old customers are looking forward to you coming. Don't forget that you have shares in the bar. Sing a few more songs tonight." Lu Chen left, the Bionics left, and Sister Na also left. The group backstage now only had 2 or 3 old faces. The others were all replaced by new people. Although the business of Forget Worries Bar was getting better and better, and it was often full on weekends, Chen Jinhao still missed the feeling of the past. Many old customers also had the same view. It's just that time can't be turned back. Now that Lu Chen and the others flew away, Chen Jinhao was also very pleased. Lu Chen promised, "Okay." Leaving Chen Jinhao behind, he went backstage. It's been more than a month since the last time he sang in Forget Worries Bar. But Lu Chen already had a strange feeling. The big room outside had been renovated. The walls were painted with new gum paint, making it look clean. There were 2 more dressing tables for the singers, but it didn't seem crowded. There were many people inside, but Lu Chen didn't recognize many of them. Lu Chen. As soon as Lu Chen went in, someone called out his name. Surprise, curiosity, surprise, everyone's eyes focused on him, is this Lu Chen? In the bar's singer circle of Hohai, Lu Chen was an out-and-out legend. He has been dormant in Forget Grass Bar for many years. At first, he was a waiter who served tea and water. Then he suddenly burst out with amazing talent, soared into the entertainment industry and became a rising star. All 3 songs written by Lu Chen for the Bionics were on the original music chart. Among them, In the Spring, topped the chart for 4 weeks in a row, making the Bionics a big hit. The most interesting thing was that this song was actually exchanged for 5% of Forget Grass Bar's shares. Lu Chen's song can sell for at least 200,000. And he himself is also very strong. After participating in Singing China, he has overcome all the difficulties and is now in the top 10 in the country. Such an eye-catching character, even if the singers present haven't seen him before, he is also famous. Isn't what Lu Chen is realizing the common dream of all of them? Lu Chen nodded, hello. The other party is a resident singer of Forget Grass Bar. He knows him a little, at least he can call out his name. At this time, other people reacted and surrounded him to greet him. Hello, Brother Chen. De Chen. Hello. Lu Chen couldn't tell who was who among the eager and enthusiastic faces. He put his hands together with a smile on his face and responded, hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you. If he hadn't participated in the talent competition, he would have been easily confused by such a scene. Lu Chen understands the thoughts of these singers. They just want to get to know him, get close to him, and even want to buy his songs. Recalling the years when he was ignored and despised in the bar, Lu Chen's heart was filled with emotion. De Chen. At this time, Qin Hanyang, who came out of the small suite, came to his rescue. Come here. With Qin Hanyang's appearance, these singers didn't dare to continue to surround Lu Chen and hurriedly made way for him. Nowadays, Bionics is very popular. It is said that commercial performance invitations are scheduled until next year. Qin Hanyang, as the lead singer and captain of the band, has also become an overnight hit and an idol worshipped by countless bar singers. In Hohai, he is an absolute big shot. It's already a great luck to be able to see Qin Hanyang and Bionics in Forget Grass Bar tonight. And Lu Chen has to be added. Lu Chen apologized and came to the small suite. The other 4 members of Bionics are there, as well as Zhang Nana, or Sister Na. De Chen. Sister Na is still so enthusiastic and gave Lu Chen a big hug on the spot. But now, whether it is her or Qin Hanyang, the way they address him has changed. Originally it was Xiao Lu, now it is De Chen. Because everyone has changed, each other's identity is different from the original. Sister Na, Lu Chen said with a smile, you are so beautiful now. Sister Na's appearance is very ordinary, plus she is old, it can even be said that she is a bit ugly. But now, the Sister Na that Lu Chen saw, has exquisite makeup and is in high spirits. Her whole temperament is very different from before. She has more of a mature woman's charm, and is also a lot more pleasing to look at. She strongly proves that the saying that a woman depends 70% on her appearance is correct. Sister Na let go of her arms and said with a fierce face, then you mean, I was ugly before? Lu Chen knows that she is joking, and said with a smile, you were beautiful before, but now you are even more beautiful. Sister Na suddenly smiled, you have the sweetest mouth. Have you coaxed any girls recently? Lu Chen shook his head and smiled bitterly. Originally, he wanted to invite Yi Zidong to come together in the evening, but after calling, he found out that the other party went home half a month ago and will not come back until the beginning of next month when school starts. During this period of time, Lu Chen has been busy participating in the competition. In addition, he has to manage the studio, produce the album, and also take care of the network anchor. Naturally, the contact with Yi Zidong has become very little. The relationship between the two is a bit cold because of this. This was also something that could not be helped. Lu Chen could not spend his time on love. And he and Yi Zidong have not really established a relationship, so such a situation is very normal. Even men and women in love will be alienated because of separation. But tonight, Lu Chen does not want to think about this. Chapter 132. Perhaps one day, when I am old and have no one to rely on, please leave me here, in that time. If one day, I leave quietly, please bury me here, in the spring. In the spring, when Chin Hanyang, the lead singer of the Bionics, finished singing, in the spring, the whole audience was boiling. This rock song was originally created by Lu Chen. After being interpreted by the Bionics and Chin Hanyang, it would become a classic. It was circulating in the streets and alleys, in bars, in squares, in underground passages. It was being covered by many singers. But no matter how wonderful the cover was, it couldn't beat the charm of the original song. Tonight, a large number of customers gathered in Forget Grass Bar. In addition to regular customers, there were many peers from other bars. Everyone hurried over after receiving the news. Even if it affected their work and delayed making money, they didn't care. It was like a pilgrimage. The people who liked this song the most and were most easily moved by it were not ordinary people who liked pop music, but the singers who drifted around and mingled at the bottom. Because, in the spring, sang their experiences, their hearts and desires. Some people even thought that it was their great luck to be able to hear and sing this song. So tonight, at Forget Grass Bar, everyone was excited to see the Bionics live and hear Chin Hanyang's performance with their own ears. They wished they could be on the stage. They had nowhere to vent their emotions, but they expressed them with applause and cheers, surging like a tide. After a few minutes, the bar finally calmed down. "Thank you," Chin Hanyang said to the microphone. "Thank you for coming over tonight and listening to us sing. Here, I first want to thank Brother Kenho, our boss, Chen Jinhao, for his consistent support for me and the Bionics. Without him, there would be no the Bionics." He raised his fist to Chen Jinhao, who was leaning against the bar, and then slammed it on his chest. Chin Hanyang was expressing his respect. Chen Jinhao raised his glass in return. The applause sounded again, warm and sincere. Chen Jinhao used 5% of Forget Grass Bar's shares in exchange for the copyright of In the Spring, and gave it to the Bionics as a farewell gift. This had already become a legendary story in Hohai. Now that his name was mentioned, who wouldn't give him a thumbs up and praise him for his righteousness? Nowadays, many singers are trying their best to get into the Forget Grass Bar, even if it's just a part-time singer. To be able to keep up with such a boss was a stroke of luck. Chin Hanyang continued, "Then, I would like to thank our musical genius, Lu Chen. I would like to thank him for writing a good song for the Bionics, a really good song." He also clenched his fists and saluted Lu Chen, who was standing at the edge of the stage. Lu Chen was speechless and returned the greeting with cupped fists. The applause that had yet to subside became even more intense, setting off a new storm. Who didn't know how outstanding Lu Chen's talent was? Each of his original works was so outstanding. It was him who created the Bionics, and now, he himself was walking on the bright avenue of stars. Next, let's invite Lu Chen to sing for everyone. As soon as Chin Hanyang's voice fell, the atmosphere of the scene instantly reached its climax, and cheers came one after another. Lu Chen walked onto the stage with a smile on his face. And at this moment, two waiters pushed out the piano that was placed in the corner of the stage. Seeing such a scene, everyone was stunned. Could it be that Lu Chen was going to play the piano? Whether it was a new customer or an old customer, none of them had ever seen Lu Chen play the piano. They only heard Lu Chen say, "Today is a very special day. Like Brother Hanyang, I would like to first thank Brother Kenho, our boss. Thank him for taking me in at the most difficult time of my life and giving me a job that could satisfy my hunger. Thank you." He bowed deeply to Chen Jinhao to express his gratitude. The wine in Chen Jinhao's glass swayed. He didn't expect that Lu Chen would also play such a trick on him. The veteran was a little at a loss. Lu Chen continued, "I would like to thank the old customers who came to the bar tonight. It was your support that kept me going and gave me the courage to work hard. Thank you." He bowed to the guests again. Everyone still applauded. Although the applause was not as fierce as before, it was extremely sincere. A few sentimental female customers even had tears in their eyes. Because they knew that it was not easy for Lu Chen to get to where he was today. Many people had seen his hard work. Lu Chen straightened up again and said, "So, I want to give a song, an original new song, to Brother Kenho, and to all the friends here. May Forget Worries Bar always be the harbor of our souls." The name of this song is Forget Worries Bar. It was written by me, Brother Hanyang, and the Bionics. People immediately became excited. No one thought that Lu Chen would actually sing a new work, and it was a collaboration with the Bionics. Forget Worries Bar. Lu Chen sat down in front of the piano that had just been set up. He said to the microphone, "I learned the piano to please girls. I didn't want to perform for you, so don't laugh if I don't play well." Everyone laughed. The next moment, the soft prelude of the piano sounded, and the scene quieted down in an instant. Lu Chen's singing immediately drifted into everyone's ears. Let us, who are weak, understand cruelty, face the coldness of life. Reluctantly let go of the people we loved, often we are not fated to be together. Who takes who seriously, who loves who is the only one who? Scarred and innocent souls don't admit that there is any God. Beautiful life and kind people, heartache and sad things, too insignificant, you and I meet coming and going, it's better to see each other than to know each other. In all fairness, Lu Chen's piano level was very ordinary. It was so ordinary that those children who had passed the amateur level 4 or 5 could easily beat him. It was completely incomparable to his guitar playing level. However, this song did not require any complicated piano playing skills. Lu Chen played very seriously and did not play a wrong note. Even if he picked up the piano again a few days ago, he still played the rhythm and melody correctly. This was enough, because what really moved people was the song itself, and the emotions he integrated into the song. This was a warm and sentimental work. The whole song started from the initial cruel and sad situation to the final construction of a poetic, optimistic situation of life, the Forget Worries Bar, like life situation, thus completing the process from simple to complex and back to simple. Forget Worries Bar, it's good to forget how much can be known in dreams. Some remote corner of the world, some small island, some year, some month, some day, some hug. Green river grass, quietly waiting for the end of time. When Lu Chen finished singing for the first time, Qin Hanyang and the Bionics sang along, "Let us, who are weak, know how to be cruel, and face life's coldness fiercely. Those who have loved reluctantly, are often not fated to be together." Their voices were low and powerful, pushing the mood of the song to a new height. Then Lu Chen continued, "Who takes who seriously, who is distressed for who is the only one who," everyone present listened carefully. They smiled, they were moved, and they seemed to understand something. Life is impermanent, time is ruthless, but we still have music to comfort ourselves. The whole bar was shrouded in a very special atmosphere. Until Lu Chen finished singing, no one spoke for a long time. Qin Jinhao was the first to applaud. Everyone seemed to wake up from a dream and clapped their hands. There were no cheers or whistles, only neat applause. "Thank you." Lu Chen stood up and thanked everyone. He picked up the microphone on the piano and said, "I will permanently transfer the copyright of this Forget Worries grass to our bar for free. Consider it a special gift for Brother Kenho tonight." The applause became louder and louder. Lu Chen raised his hand to signal everyone to be quiet first. He continued, "I think everyone must feel very strange, right? Then listen to the next song and you will know." After plugging in the microphone again, Lu Chen sat down again. The lights in the bar instantly went out. Before everyone could exclaim, the sound of the piano sounded again. Among the exclamations, there was a cry of surprise. The next moment, the orange candlelight dispelled the darkness, and Sister Na came out from the backstage with a cart. There was a huge multi-layered cake placed on the frame of the carriage, with colorful candles inserted on it. "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you." No one knew who started it, but everyone sang the happy birthday song in unison with Lu Chen's piano accompaniment. The cart was pushed in front of Qin Jinhao. Sister Na smiled and said, "Jinhao, happy birthday to you." Her smile under the candlelight was beautiful and moving, this kind of beauty had nothing to do with her appearance. Today was Qin Jinhao's 40th birthday. Qin Jinhao was completely stunned. He finally understood why Lu Chen and the people from the Bionics would come over at night, and why those old customers would be secretive when they saw him. It turned out that they had colluded long ago. Today was Qin Jinhao's 40th birthday, he himself had forgotten. But someone remembered. He stared at Sister Na standing in front of him and said with difficulty, "Thank you, Na." Except for Sister Na, there was no one else. The tears in her eyes fell instantly. Sister Na smiled and said, "Make a wish and blow out the candles, everyone is waiting." Qin Jinhao nodded. He closed his eyes and silently made a wish, then took a deep breath and blew out all the candles. In the past, Qin Jinhao thought this was very childish. Bang! 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 The lights in the bar were all turned on. Along with the loud cheers, the spray cans were opened one by one, and countless colorful strips were shot into the air. Soon after, they fluttered down, adding to the festive atmosphere of the scene. Cheerful music sounded, turning the Forget Grass bar into a sea of joy. Sleepless Night. Note, Forget Grass, lyrics, Chen Wu/composer, Yuta Keiko. Chapter 133. Friday, August 28th. Beijing Television T1 Studio, Singing China National Finals. This brand new studio, which was just opened half a month ago, occupies the entire floor of the new satellite TV building. Not only is it equipped with advanced facilities, but its scale is also among the best among all the local satellite TV stations in China. It can accommodate 3,000 live audiences at the same time, and the total area of the stage reaches 3,500 square meters. Its interior decoration is magnificent and spacious, highlighting the ambition of Beijing Television. At 6:30, the studio was already full, and all the on-site staff were in place. Tonight is the last competition of Singing China, which is also the top 10 competition. Different from Shonan TV's Super Singer, Beijing Television's Singing China has only one national competition. Its real exciting part is actually the competition in the 6 singing areas, which is fully in line with the program theme of Walking and Singing China. But this final still attracted the attention of countless audiences and fans of the contestants. Who can win the supreme laurel? Who can win the total prize of 5 million yuan? Who can be the brightest star tonight? All the answers are about to be revealed. In the backstage of T1 Studio, Singing China national top 10 singers are waiting. As a supporting setting of the studio, the backstage is also luxurious enough to accommodate hundreds of performers and staff without any problem. The 10 contestants simply can't sit down, even if they are accompanied by members of their group of relatives and friends. Everyone tacitly kept their distance, no one talked loudly, and the atmosphere was tense with depression. This competition is too important, and it will affect the future of everyone to a large extent. Whether they will successfully embark on the bright path of stars, or disappear like a flash in the pan, or be watched by thousands of people, or be ignored from now on, depends on their performance tonight. Including Lu Chen, all the contestants are full of energy. None of them wants to lose. In contrast, Lu Chen is the most relaxed. Other than Lu Shi and Chen Xian, Qin Hanyang, and the 4 members of the Bionics, Sister Na and Qin Jinhao were all here. The lineup was quite strong. There was still plenty of time before he had to go on stage. Lu Chen leaned back on the soft chair that emitted the scent of new leather, staring at Qin Jinhao and Zhang Nana opposite him. Or rather, he would stare at their hands, his gaze especially deep. Sister Na, an open-minded and straightforward woman, also blushed under his gaze, revealing a rare shyness. Qin Jinhao flew into a rage out of humiliation. He glared at Lu Chen and scolded, "What are you looking at me for? Go and prepare yourself." Everyone else was making the best use of their time to warm up, but Lu Chen just kept staring at himself. What's there to see? It's just holding hands. Lu Chen smiled and said, "Congratulations to the 2 of you. When will you be able to attend the wedding banquet?" As soon as this remark came out, even Qin Hanyang and the others laughed. The elders in the Forget Worries bar all know that Sister Na has liked Qin Jinhao for a long time. But she was not confident in her appearance, so she never made it clear to the latter. She was afraid that they wouldn't even be friends. Of course, Qin Jinhao is also clear about this. He has always been single, but he also has a few confidants. He has experienced a lot of things and is very indifferent to marriage. He regards Sister Na as a friend, a good friend. Until later, Lu Chen wrote a song for Sister Na. The name of the song is, I Want to Have a Home. When Sister Na first sang in the Forget Grass bar, Qin Jinhao was touched when he heard it. Then last night, everyone gave him a big surprise. When Sister Na pushed the birthday cake in front of him and wished him a happy birthday with tears, Qin Jinhao's heart finally collapsed. After knowing each other for many years, he suddenly discovered that the love that he didn't believe in has always been waiting by his side. Sister Na was so beautiful under the candlelight. So, Qin Jinhao can only endure Lu Chen's teasing and did not let go of Zhang Nana's hand. Sister Na was very generous. After shyness, she calmly said, "It's enough that we can be together. Marriage is not important, no." Qin Jinhao suddenly interrupted her and said, "On October 1st, National Day, we will get married." What? Everyone was stunned, so fast. Qin Hanyang felt that it was inconceivable. He can be considered as a real good friend of Qin Jinhao and Sister Na. Previously, he didn't think that the two of them could be together. Unexpectedly, they are talking about marriage now. Sister Na was even more surprised. She was dumbfounded and couldn't speak. Qin Jinhao looked at her and said with a faint smile, "I have already thought about it. Let's get married, as long as you are willing." If this is a proposal, it is really not romantic at all. Qin Jinhao is not a romantic person. But Sister Na was still moved to tears. She choked and said, "I am willing. I am just afraid that you..." Qin Jinhao shook his head and held her hand tightly. "I don't regret it." Lu Chen, Lu Shi, Qin Hanyang, everyone gave their blessings with applause. If it wasn't for the wrong place, they would have cheered on the spot. Even so, it also attracted a lot of attention around. Qin Jinhao reached out to wipe the tears on Sister Na's face and said to Lu Chen, "Are you satisfied now? Your Sister Na and I are going to get married. If you can't win the championship tonight, then don't come to our wedding banquet. I can't afford to lose that person." Lu Chen's smile suddenly turned into a wry smile, so much pressure. Everyone couldn't help but laugh. The atmosphere in the small circle suddenly became extremely joyous. Lu Chen had to take out his guitar and sit aside to start practicing. After working hard for nearly 2 months and running across more than half of China, if he loses to others in the final battle, not to mention his relatives, friends, and fans, he himself can't accept it. The works for the competition have already been sent up. According to the rules, he has also rehearsed with the accompaniment band in strict secrecy. He is full of confidence in himself, but he dare not say that he is 100% sure. Those who can be ranked in the top 10 of Singing China may not be the strongest 10 of all the contestants, but those who are qualified to stand on the stage tonight are not ordinary people. Just like in the competition in the Bihai singing area, Lu Chen's opponent, Shi Jia, once posed a great threat to him. No one can be sure that the other 9 singers will not come up with similar trump cards. Therefore, although Lu Chen looks calm on the surface, in fact, he is prepared to be on the alert, not allowing himself to be too nervous or too relaxed. Time passed quickly, and in a blink of an eye, it was 7:30. Singing China National Finals has officially begun. Compared with previous competitions in the old studio, the opening of this final held in the T1 studio is far more imposing and gorgeous. The large background display effect composed of innumerable LED screens is very good, and with the beautiful lighting of the scene, it is simply dazzling to the extreme. The number of hosts on the scene has increased to 2, and with passionate lines, it has easily set off a warm atmosphere. At the invitation of the 2 hosts, Tan Hong and Chen Feier came to the stage and sang their own famous songs. Since the beginning of the Beijing Singing Area Qualifier, the 2 pop music giants have been serving as judges, but this is the first time that they have sung on the stage in person, which undoubtedly gave the audience inside and outside the venue a great awakening. In particular, Tan Hong has been in a semi-retired state in recent years, and he doesn't take on commercial performances, so there are really few opportunities to see him on the stage and listen to him sing. A heavenly king is a heavenly king. A classic old song, Wanderer in the Horizon, under his passionate interpretation, made the 3,000 audience at the scene intoxicated. In the end, they even sang in unison, pushing the atmosphere to a climax. Chen Feier did not disappoint either. She sang her famous song, Sweet Memories, with her own natural voice, which made the audience recall the good times of the past. The two big shots had easily snatched all the limelight. It's just that Tan Hong and Chen Feier have long enjoyed the glory. The two are not greedy for such a scene at all. No matter how the audience requested, they all returned to the judge's seat. Because tonight's stage belongs to the top 10 singers of Singing China. The order of the 10 contestants was prearranged, and the first one to play was Mu Xiaochu. In the last game of the national competition, Zhang Junhua lost to Lin Meiru, one of the top 10 in Bihai. Therefore, she and Lu Chen were the only two contestants left from the Beijing singing area. With her sweet voice and girl-next-door purity, although Mu Xiaochu was not as brilliant as Lu Chen in the competition of Singing China, she also went all the way to the final. Even her fans couldn't believe it, and they talked about it in blogs, post bars and forums. Of course, they were all praises. In this final, Mu Xiaochu's parents came to support her, and Lu Chen also went to say hello before. The song she sang in the evening is called Tianshan Lotus. Tianshan Lotus is not a very famous work. Its style is inclined to the main melody, and it requires a high level of skill for the singer. If the atmosphere is not in place, it will be embarrassing. Many famous singers dare not try it. Mu Xiaochu is undoubtedly fighting hard to come up with this song. Lu Chen stared at the large screen LCD TV hanging on the wall and secretly broke into a sweat for her. However, the girl, who was as soft as a willow, did not disappoint. She vividly displayed the characteristics of her voice through this song, fully demonstrating the unique talent she had in singing. If there is a shortcoming, it is that the treble part is still slightly lacking, which is a little inferior to the original singer. But it's enough to shock people. At the end of the song, the whole audience applauded thunderously, and many of the audience stood up to applaud her. Lu Chen also stood up. However, he had just clapped twice when he suddenly saw Lu Shi sitting opposite him staring at her mobile phone with a strange look. Lu Chen couldn't help asking, "Sister, what's wrong?" Chapter 134. Lu Shi frowned and showed a look of displeasure, as if something made her very unhappy. But when she heard Lu Chen's inquiry, she immediately put away her cell phone. "It's nothing, you don't have to worry about it." Lu Chen shook his head and said, "Sister, you make me more worried and have a greater impact on me." Lu Shi must have encountered something related to him, otherwise she wouldn't be like this. He knows how to deal with his sister. Lu Shi glared at him helplessly, but still took out her cell phone and handed it to him, a boring guy. Lu Chen took it and looked at it, and soon understood. What Lu Shi's cell phone showed was the content of Wave's blog, and the blogger was Zhuang Hao. The editor and music critic of the fashion magazine, Shumei, posted a blog post at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He commented on a song that has recently been very popular on the internet, called Chasing Dream with a Childlike Heart. Zhuang Hao wrote in his blog post that the song sounds very good, the lyrics are ambitious and exciting, and the singer's level is also good, so it makes sense for it to be popular. But, pay attention to this but. However, he could not agree with the original singer-songwriter's ideological realm, because before the original singer-songwriter sang this song, he once publicly said in a live TV program that his dream was to make money, and to make a lot of money. Isn't that ridiculous? Money is important, but young people's dreams should not be focused on money. They should have nobler values. Isn't it good to pursue the dream of music? This blog post has nearly 1,000 words, and it is full of criticism of Lu Chen without naming him. The core point is to compare what Lu Chen said in the Beijing singing area final with the Chasing Dream with a Childlike Heart sung in the Beihai competition, ridiculing that Lu Chen's dream is full of the stench of money and belongs to incorrect values, so he should not be the object of young people's pursuit. At the end of the blog post, he also added video clips of Lu Chen in those two competitions as evidence. As the saying goes, literati don't use a knife to kill people. As an editor and sound critic of a magazine, Zhuang Hao's writing style is quite sharp. He seizes Lu Chen's loopholes and attacks him with all his might. He has the potential to beat Lu Chen into a morally corrupt person. This blog post was forwarded and Lu Chen FMX, which was seen by Lu Shi. Lu Chen's Waves blog currently has more than 4.2 million followers, which is still a little short of the 5 million Big V standard. However, his number of fans has been accumulated in just 1 month, which is very considerable. Inspur blog is a very important place for publicity. Even small stars in the 3rd or 4th tier have to open a blog to hype or enhance their image popularity. Therefore, as Lu Chen's agent, Lu Shi attaches great importance to it and has been personally managing it. In particular, Lu Chen has experienced 2 incidents of being defamed, so she is particularly sensitive in this regard. Zhuang Hao's ill-intentioned blog post naturally made her furious. However, Lu Chen was not angry. Instead, he smiled. In the beginning, Zhuang Hao deliberately embarrassed Lu Chen during the audition of Super Singer, and teamed up with 2 other judges to eliminate Lu Chen. Later, the matter was exposed and Shonan TV terminated the cooperation, and his face was completely lost. It would be strange if this guy didn't bear a grudge against Lu Chen. But at this time, his own reputation was bad, and it would be ridiculous for him to still want to discredit Lu Chen. This blog post was posted at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So far, it has only been forwarded more than 200, with only 75 likes and thousands of comments, all of which were scolding him. Su Xiaobai, do you deserve to talk about morality? Beef ramen meatball, are you going against Lu Chen? Tell me, how much money did you take from him this time? Scientific electromagnetic gun, Chasing Dreams with a Pure Heart is a good song that I will never get tired of listening to. You have to be good at it. Ash HK, is there a problem with the dream of making money? What do you eat if you have no money? Bobo, well said, I'll give you 5 points. Keep working hard. Shark 777, this is the funniest blog post I've seen this year. The blogger still has a face. Cat, hee hee, it's not enough to harm people once, and you want to do it again. You're so bad. Aren't you afraid of being hit by a car when you go out? I want rice, what's wrong with making money? My dream is to make a lot of money. Do I need you to care? 18 years old, Shumei magazine, why don't you take care of your dog? It's biting people again. Fang Zizai, please get lost. Except for a few passers-by who did not know the truth, 90% of the commenters were scolding Zhuang Hao. There should not be many true fans of Lu Chen among them, or else they would have long been flooded. Most of these people who scolded Zhuang Hao had heard and liked Chasing Dreams with a Pure Heart. They were very disgusted with Zhuang Hao's forced slander and took the initiative to help Lu Chen fight back and ridicule him. There were also people who knew about the grievances between the 2 sides and despised Zhuang Hao to the extreme. He himself had no morality at all, yet he dared to shamelessly scold others. He was worse than a hypocrite. In order to express their contempt, many people who criticized Zhuang Hao also gave him 5 cents. This was a satire on him, and this blog post was only worth this little money. Zhuang Hao actually earned a few yuan because of this. Lu Chen was overjoyed. He showed a few classic comments to Lu Shi, sister, you don't have to be angry. You see, other people are scolding him. It has no effect on me at all. It was nothing more than a clown. It was not worth getting angry at all. If Lu Chen really cared about and scolded Zhuang Hao, it was estimated that it was exactly what the other party wanted. Perhaps this was Zhuang Hao's purpose. It was just that after the last time Beijing television showed its power, the criticism against Lu Chen on Waves blog basically disappeared. Without those big V's/speculators/marketing accounts adding fuel to the fire, this blog post would not even be able to make a small wave. Zhuang Hao undoubtedly wanted to set a wave of momentum by himself, using Lu Chen to hype up and at the same time retaliate. He also took great pains to choose the time to launch an attack. Unfortunately, no one responded. Of course, Lu Shi would not easily be set up. She just did not expect this circle to be so complicated. The road was full of traps and thorns, so her sister could not help but worry about Lu Chen's future. Qin Jinhao came with Sister Na to show concern. After understanding the cause of the matter, he smiled at Lu Shi's depression. The entertainment circle is like this. It has never been clean. Lu Chen is clean. Even if others want to slander him, they have to weigh their own weight. You don't have to worry too much. There is no star who has not experienced such things on the road to fame. As long as Lu Chen's strength is strong enough, he does not need to be afraid of any open or hidden rules. Lu Chen nodded his head. He naturally understood the principle that forging iron also needs to be hard. Qin Jinhao said again, "What Zhuang Hao said is not a big deal, but you can also fight back before singing." Lu Chen said with a smile, "Thank you, Brother Kenho, for your guidance." Qin Jinhao patted him on the shoulder and encouraged, "Come on, you must win the championship." In the T1 studio, the final continues. One by one, the top 10 singers of Singing China appeared on the stage one by one. They used all their skills to display their strength and launched an attack towards the highest goal. Countless viewers sat in front of their TVs or computers, paying attention to and enjoying the fierce final. In Whale TV, Lu Fei's live broadcasting room, it was extremely lively. Since Lu Chen participated in the Singing China reality talent competition, the number of followers and online people in Lu Fei's live broadcasting room has been rising, and the popularity has not decreased. Although because of the competition, Li Feiyu is the anchor most of the time, his popularity is still very high. Especially in the evening's final, Whale TV made a key recommendation on the home page for the first time. Under normal circumstances, the officials are opposed to signing anchors to hire people to broadcast on behalf of them. Occasionally, they can turn a blind eye. After all, accidents happen. But if they often broadcast on behalf of others, there will be a problem, and the officials will inevitably punish them, or even directly terminate the contract. But Lu Chen's situation is completely different. As a new star from Whale TV, his success in Singing China has also made the officials proud, and they took the opportunity to hype it up. Therefore, it is only natural that Whale TV will put a banner on the home page of tonight's final. And the eye-catching advertisement has brought a lot of popularity to Lu Fei's live broadcasting room. The number of followers has exceeded the 1 million mark, and the number of online users has reached 1.7 million plus, and it is still rising. Such data has undoubtedly set a new record in the live broadcasting room. The barrage is like a tide, and the fish balls are falling like rain. Li Feiyu's voice was hoarse with excitement, and he tried his best to drive the rhythm. Lu Jiejun's fans are also eagerly looking forward to Lu Chen's appearance, expecting him to win the final crown. Forget grass bar. Although Qin Jinhao and others are not there, the big screen on the stage is still playing the live broadcast of the competition. In Binhai Lu Chen's home, Fang Yun and Lu Shui have been waiting in the living room for a long time. At 9:05 p.m., the ninth singer will finish singing and come off the stage. Lu Chen was the last contestant to take the stage. He came on stage, bowed and greeted, "Hello everyone, hello four judges, I am singer Lu Chen." The eyes of the 3,000 audience were all focused on him, and the big studio quickly quieted down. "Hello, Lu Chen, we meet again." Chen Feier asked with a smile, "Standing on this stage tonight, what do you think?" Lu Chen thought for a moment and replied, "I have a lot of feelings. When I was in the Beijing singing area final, I once said that my dream is to make money, to make a lot of money." Chen Feier's eyes sparkled. "Has your dream changed now?" "No." Lu Chen shook his head firmly. "My original dream has not changed, because I want to make money to help my family pay off their debts. I want my family to live a happy life. I want my mother to not have to work hard day and night. So I want to make a lot of money. I also have a new dream, that is, to let people all over the world hear my song. Let them remember my name. I'm standing here, I'm here for my dream. Chapter 135. My original dream hasn't changed, because I want to make money to help my family pay off their debts. I want my family to live a happy life, and I want my mother to not have to work hard day and night. So I want to make a lot of money. When Lu Chen's firm and powerful voice was clearly transmitted to Lu Shi's ears through the LCD TV sound system hanging on the wall, her sister's eyes suddenly became a little more sparkling. She came to Beijing from Binhai and saw with her own eyes how hard Lu Chen worked to make money and knew how much he paid. Chen Jinhao once told Lu Shi in private that when Lu Chen came to work in his bar, he was always very diligent and almost never late for work. In order to earn more tips, Lu Chen was the most diligent among all the waiters. Because he served tea and wine to guests every day, he was often so tired that he couldn't get up straight, and he often caught the last subway back to his rental house in the evening. And he has been living in a cheap basement, where he can't see the sun. Later, when he came out to sing, Lu Chen, in order to make up for his shortcomings, practiced the guitar desperately. Even if there was a pick available, he still played until his fingers broke and bled and formed calluses. He can now easily play folk songs with his fingers, which is the foundation he practiced at the beginning, until his skills improved by leaps and bounds. Chen Jinhao was willing to help Lu Chen because he was moved by his hard work. At this moment, the estrangement in Lu Shi's heart with Lu Chen disappeared silently. Now Lu Chen is no longer the ignorant big child of that year. What reason does she have to continue to hold a prejudice? He is her younger brother. In the T1 studio, applause rang out. Although the current talent show has changed a lot from the past, and the contestants no longer desperately make up stories. But when it comes to dreams and ideals, everyone will naturally say some passionate or moving words in order to move the audience and win votes. Since Lu Chen participated in the Singing China talent competition, whether it was the preliminary audition or the tour competition, he has always used his talent and excellent original works to win. Lu Chen never boasted, nor did he tell any stories. He even said that his dream was to earn money. Now, everyone knew that his dream was the most sincere. The warm applause from the 3,000 spectators was a sign of appreciation and encouragement for this sincere attitude. Chen Fei was touched. I hope that your dreams can come true, and I believe that they will come true. Lu Chen smiled. Thank you. Tan Hong nodded. Then let's start your performance. Lu Chen took a deep breath and suppressed the violent fluctuations in his heart. He adjusted his aura and emotions to their optimal state. Then he turned to the side and gave a thumbs up to the live backing band. It was time to begin. The prelude immediately sounded. Lu Chen sang this song for himself. He held the guitar and plucked the steel strings. When the studio quickly quieted down, the lights around quietly went out, and innumerable stars began to flash on the black dome, like the most beautiful starry sky at night. The brightest star in the night sky, can you hear it clearly, the person I look up to, the loneliness and sigh at the bottom of my heart. The brightest star in the night sky, can you remember, once walked with me, the figure that disappeared in the wind. I pray to have a transparent heart and eyes that will cry. Give me the courage to believe again, oh, to embrace you through the lie. Whenever I can't find the meaning of existence, whenever I'm lost in the night, oh the brightest star in the night sky, please guide me to you. Behind Lu Chen, the incomparably huge screen displayed the incomparably splendid scene of the universe. There are also lyrics that appear and disappear. The brightest star in the night sky is Lu Chen's original work prepared for this final. This song sings the dream of Lu Chen's youth, with the courage, confidence and drive of young people, showing the power of love to every young heart like him. What the lyrics express is a spirit of pursuit, the pursuit of the belief that no matter what, there will be the brightest star in front of us to guide us forward. Always believe in the existence of light. Because there are always things in life that make us worth caring about and moving. The brightest star in the night sky, do you know, where is the figure that once walked with me now? Oh, the brightest star in the night sky, do you care, is waiting for the sun to rise, or the accident comes first? I'd rather keep all the pain in my heart and don't want to forget your eyes. Give me the courage to believe again, oh, to embrace you through the lie. Whenever I can't find the meaning of existence, whenever I'm lost in the night, oh, the brightest star in the night sky, please light me up. In the T1 studio, there was a strange silence. This silence was not the meaning on the surface. It was very quiet and no sound, but the 3,000 audience at the scene were listening quietly, listening to the soul-touching song from Lu Chen. Feeling the strong emotion that made people tremble. In this song, Lu Chen fully showed the characteristics of his voice. His high and low voice transition was smooth and free, without the slightest difficulty, especially in the high note, which was not sharp enough to pierce the eardrum, but could make people have goosebumps all over their body and have a feeling of electric shock. On the other hand, the cooperation between Lu Chen's guitar playing and the live band was also perfect. Together, they expressed the excellent melody of the song incisively and vividly, leaving no regrets. It was the first time for all the people present, as well as the tens of millions of people in front of the TV and computer screens outside the venue, to hear this song, and they were deeply moved. Different people can have different understandings of this song. It can represent love. It can also represent family or even friendship. Its tolerance is its greatest charm. The song is also telling everyone that even if you are in a desperate situation, you should be brave to find hope. Even in the most lost or even desperate time, you should learn to face everything. Because we were young, we were arrogant. Because we were young, we were gradually secular. But no matter what situation we are in, we should keep a pure heart. Listen to the call of the heart and pursue the direction of life. The brightest star in the night sky, Lu Chen sang to himself and to everyone. The brightest star in the night sky, can you hear the loneliness and sigh in the heart of the person who looks up? The sound of the piano spread far and wide, and the lingering sound lingered. Tan Hong was the first to stand up. He stared at Lu Chen and clapped his hands hard, very hard. Then Chen Fei, Lin Jijia, Zhen Zhen, and the 3,000 audience at the scene. The applause was so loud and neat, as if it had been rehearsed in advance, and it was so exciting. But for a truly good song, the glory it received was just as it should be. Lu Chen put down the guitar. He bit his lip, showed a happy smile on his face, and then bowed deeply. Thank you for listening to me finish this song. The applause was finally no longer so neat. Suddenly, it became violent, as if a storm had been set off, hitting the walls and dome of the studio, making the whole tall building resonate. Backstage, many contestants and members of the group of relatives and friends were also applauding and cheering for this powerful opponent. Lu Chen's song conquered the audience at the scene, and also conquered them. There was no jealousy, and they were sincerely convinced. She looked at Lu Chen on TV in a daze, and the tears that had accumulated in her eyes finally slipped down her face. At this moment, whether Lu Chen could win or not, she felt that she had no regrets. The applause in the hall lasted for 2 minutes. Until it subsided, Tan Hong said, "The brightest star in the night sky, this is the best song I heard tonight. I don't want to comment too much. I'll give you 10 points, because that's all I can give." Chen Fei, 10 points, Lin Jijia 10 points, Zhen Zhen 10 points. One by one, the eye-catching numbers flashed quickly on the big screen, superimposing the highest judges' scores tonight. 40 points. Although the final result has not yet been announced, there is no suspense about the winner. Although the performance of the other 9 singers was excellent, they all covered other people's songs. Not only was Lu Chen not inferior to any of his opponents in singing, but he also took out a brand new original song. A work that can become a classic. The brightest star in the night sky, he is undoubtedly the brightest star tonight. Both on and off the stage, Lu Chen's advantage has been unsurpassable. No one doubted this. And such a situation was extremely rare in previous talent shows. At home in Binhai City, Lu Shui held Fang Yun in her arms and jumped and screamed. She was so excited that she couldn't control herself. Fang Yun let her do whatever she wanted, and her eyes were always fixed on Lu Chen on the live screen. This is her child. Forget grass bar. The guests slapped the table hard. They raised their glasses high and laughed loudly. The beer in the glass swayed, and countless white bubbles appeared. In Lu Fei's live broadcast room, the celebration of millions of fans has reached its climax, and the number of barrage shots has reached a terrifying level, even affecting the server of Whale TV, putting heavy pressure on the latter. We are the champion. We are the strongest. Long live. No one knows how many Lu Jejun members have rewarded all the fish balls they have accumulated from signing in and doing tasks. Many people even put together an aircraft carrier to celebrate Lu Chen's victory in the first season of Beijing Television's Singing China, in the name of a group. Before that, they cast countless votes for Lu Chen through the internet, mobile phones, phone calls, and text messages. They can proudly say that this championship has everyone's contribution. In the live broadcast, all the votes were counted, and the host announced from the 10th place. Until the last one. I announce that the winner of the first season of Singing China is Lu Chen. Note, the brightest star in the night sky, lyrics/song, escape plan. Chapter 136. By the time Lu Chen returned to his apartment, it was already late at night. After finishing all the competitions of Singing China and winning the national singing champion, Lu Chen and everyone went to Forget Grass Bar to celebrate and partied until midnight. He completely relaxed himself and didn't know how many glasses of wine he drank. In a daze, he was sent home by Lu Shi. When he arrived at the apartment, Lu Chen sobered up a lot. "Sister, why did you bring me back here?" Lu Shi said angrily, "If I didn't send you back here, would I have left you alone in the studio? Drunk people actually need to be taken care of very much." Of course, she would not leave Lu Chen alone. Unexpectedly, Lu Chen's alcohol tolerance was good, and he didn't get drunk and unconscious. In the bar, she watched her brother being poured glass after glass of wine, but everyone was so enthusiastic and happy in the evening, so it was not good to spoil the mood and stop them. She just felt a little distressed. Now that she saw that Lu Chen was sober, her sister was finally relieved. If she had known earlier, she would have left him in the studio. Lu Chen said with a smile, "Then I'll sleep on the sofa." This single apartment was originally rented by Lu Chen. After Lu Shi came to Beijing, he gave it to her. Lu Shi pinched her nose and said, "Go take a bath first. The smell of alcohol on you is too strong." Lu Chen lifted his coat and smelled it. There was no smell of alcohol. My clothes are over there." Lu Shi said angrily, "I bought them for you on the way." When she came back, she thought of it. Fortunately, Beijing's business was extremely developed, and there were supermarkets open late at night. Lu Chen scratched his head. He was really a little drunk. Lu Shi impatiently stuffed the paper bag in her hand into his arms and pushed him to the bathroom. "Go wash it." Lu Chen chuckled and grabbed the paper bag to take a shower. After taking a hot shower in the bathroom, he washed away the smell of alcohol and drunkenness. After changing into clean clothes and coming out, Lu Chen felt refreshed and comfortable inside and out. Usually, no matter how busy he was at work, even if he was participating in competitions outside, he would train every day, rain or shine. After persevering for a few months, Lu Chen's physique was obviously much stronger. The outline of his muscles could be seen on his abdomen. Not only was his physical strength more vigorous, but even his alcohol tolerance had increased a bit. "Come and eat." While Lu Chen was taking a shower, his sister prepared supper for him in the kitchen. The supper was a bowl of noodles, a simple tomato with eggs, and a few pieces of green onions. The white, red, yellow, and green soup was clear and beautiful. Not only did it smell fragrant, but it also made people want to eat it. Lu Chen's stomach full of alcohol had been digested by now. It was the time when his stomach was rumbling. He sat down without hesitation and picked up the chopsticks. In the blink of an eye, he ate the whole bowl of noodles and soup. Patting his belly, he burped with great satisfaction, "I'm full." It was good to have a home, to have family around. Lu Shi watched him finish eating, and then said, then you go to rest, I will wash the dishes. Lu Chen nodded. Sister, thank you. Lu Shi did not speak, but there was a little more softness in her eyes. Lu Chen suddenly felt a little embarrassed. His ear was itchy, and he could not help but reach out and dig with his little finger. During the competition, he wore wireless headphones in this ear. Your ear is itchy? Lu Shi said, I will help you. Go to the sofa. Lu Chen originally wanted to say no trouble, but his sister had already stood up, so he had to swallow his words and follow. Lu Shi took out the tools from her bag. She let Lu Chen lie down first, pressed the latter's head on her lap, and then cleaned Lu Chen's ear under the light. At first, Lu Chen was a little nervous because his sister had not been so gentle to him for a long time. But soon, he relaxed. He remembered that when he was a child, his sister also cleaned his ear like this. But when did the brother and sister become estranged? Lu Chen really could not remember clearly. But it was really comfortable to clean his ear. The two of them did not speak, and the small living room was filled with a faint warmth. Lu Shi carefully dug out a ball of earwax and suddenly asked softly, Did you and Yizi break up? It took a moment for Lu Chen to react, and he said with a bitter smile, Sister, we did not fall in love. It was true that he and Yi Zidong had a good impression of each other, but this good impression had not turned into true love, and with the passage of time and distance, it became a faint melancholy and memories. There were regrets, but they were not sad, because they had not really committed. After experiencing so many things, Lu Chen wondered if he still had the courage to love deeply. He said, At the end of the competition, she sent me a text message, wishing me to win the championship. Lu Shi was silent for a moment and said, Yi Zi is a good girl, you did the right thing by not hurting her. She was very clear how busy Lu Chen had been recently, and he had no time to fall in love. Or more accurately, Lu Chen did not want to fall in love. The heavy debt of his family was like a huge mountain, pressing on him. It was also pressing on Lu Shi. She could understand Lu Chen's difficulties, but she felt a little sorry. Yi Zi was a good girl. Lu Shi's action of picking his ear became more gentle. Okay. Lu Chen agreed, and the tiredness hidden deep in his body quietly attacked, making his eyelids become heavy. Closing his eyes, Lu Chen fell asleep, and soon there was a soft snore. He was too tired. Lu Shi waited quietly for a moment until Lu Chen fell asleep. Then she took a pillow and replaced her leg as a pillow. She covered Lu Chen with a thin blanket, turned off the light, and went back to her room to rest. Late at night. The living room was plunged into darkness, and the light outside shone through the glass window, faint and weak. In the darkness, Lu Chen turned over on the sofa to make himself sleep more comfortably. He slept soundly and relaxed. In the darkness, there was a familiar voice telling Lu Chen that he and his sister had really reconciled, so he was relieved. Early morning, Bin Hai. Fang Yan got up very early. After a simple wash, she hurriedly ate breakfast and prepared to go out to the supermarket. Today was Saturday, and the Big Baifu supermarket, which was not far from Dongping district, had a discount. Many times, the prices of fresh meat and vegetables were much cheaper than those in the market, so housewives often rushed there to stock up. But if they were late, many of the discounted goods would be snatched up, and even if there were any left, it would be of poor quality. Fang Yun was in a good mood today, so she wanted to buy more things, and specially prepared 2 big shopping bags. Before going out, she was a little worried. After thinking about it, she opened the door of the small room. The room was still air-conditioned, and the temperature was a little low. Lu Shui was lying on the bed, snoring, half of her body exposed outside the blanket, like a sleepy little pig. This child, Fang Yun complained, found the remote control to readjust the temperature, and then pulled the blanket to cover Lu Shui. She stretched out her hand and gave Lu Shui's little but a light slap. The latter snorted twice in dissatisfaction in her sleep, twisted herself and shrank in. Fang Yun couldn't help but laugh, turned around and left the room. She closed the door very carefully. On the stairs below, Fang Yun met a neighbor, Zhang Mailan, the wife of Division Chief Lin of the local tax collection department. The collection management department of the local tax bureau was a key department, and Division Chief Lin was regarded as half a real power in the unit. His wife was a little arrogant, and had always been indifferent to Fong Yun. However, today's situation was very different. When Zhang Milan saw Fong Yun, she immediately smiled and took the initiative to say hello. Sister Yun, you got up so early today? Are you going to Big Baifu to buy groceries? Fong Yun was stunned and replied, yes, you are also very early. Zhang Milan said with a smile, I'm used to getting up early every day to exercise, but today I want to go to the supermarket with you. Fong Yun was confused by her, but she couldn't refuse to give face, so she could only agree. On the way to the supermarket, Zhang Milan said, Sister Yun, I saw your Lu Chen on TV last night. He's getting more and more promising. He actually won the championship. He's going to be a big star. Speaking of last night's final of Singing China, Fong Yun couldn't help smiling. Lu Chen's wonderful performance in this crucial competition not only won the high praise of the 4 judges, but also conquered countless audiences inside and outside the venue. In the end, he defeated all his opponents by a large margin. As Lu Chen's mother, Fong Yun was really proud. After the competition, Lu Chen called her, and then many relatives and friends also called. Of course, in front of outsiders, she still had to remain modest. It's not so easy to be a big star. Lu Chen was just lucky to meet it. It's hard to say what will happen in the future. Zhang Milan pursed her lips and said with a smile, don't be modest for him. My circle of friends on QQ has been spread all over. It's said that your Lu Chen is a musical talent and the pride of our Binhai city. He will definitely have a great future. Then she changed the subject and asked, does your Lu Chen have a girlfriend now? Fong Yun understood a little, it seems that not yet. Zhang Milan was surprised, Lu Chen is so handsome and talented. How can he not have a girlfriend? Why don't I introduce him to one? My sister's niece is studying at Beijing University. Her character and appearance are excellent. Fong Yun was really speechless. She knew that the other party must have a purpose for being so attentive. She perfunctorily answered Zhang Milan and soon came to the supermarket. There were more acquaintances in the supermarket. Sister-in-law Lu is here. Oh, Sister Yun, you also came to buy vegetables. What a coincidence. Accountant Fong, I really want to congratulate you. You have given birth to a good son and won glory for our Binhai city. Lu Chen is so amazing. My son admires him very much. Your Lu Chen is really promising. Binhai is a small county-level city, and the local circle is relatively closed. Anything that happens often spreads quickly. Fong Yun lives in Dongping District, where the staff dormitories of the Municipal Finance Bureau, the State Taxation Bureau and the Local Taxation Bureau are located. The news that her son, Lu Chen, participated in the Singing China talent competition has long been spread around. Many colleagues know Lu Chen, so they naturally paid special attention to last night's final. As a result, Lu Chen lived up to expectations and won the championship. So when they saw Fong Yun here, everyone gathered around and sincerely congratulated her. They pushed Zhang Milan to the side. Fong Yun was surrounded by people and was at a loss. Her heart was proud and moved. Chapter 137. On August 28, the Singing China National Finals competition ended. The first season of Beijing Television's first reality show was a great success, with a ratings of 6.87% that night. Although it failed to break the record of 7%, Beijing Television was very satisfied. Not only did it schedule the production of the second season next year, but it also revealed a surprising news on its official blog. That is, the champion of the first season will serve as a judge for the second season, and this has become a convention. And the champion of the first season of Singing China was Lu Chen. The news made Lu Chen's fans on Wave's blog soar, and it also brought him substantial benefits. Lu Chen's studio received inquiries from 2 performance companies and an advertising company, and a brokerage company that had been contacted before came to the door again to buy songs. There was also QQ Music, which asked Lu Chen for an interview. Therefore, not only did Lu Chen not become idle because of the end of Singing China, but he became even busier. But before dealing with these businesses, Lu Chen first had to receive a very important guest. Lin Jijie, a famous musician and the music director of Flying Stone Records. He was also one of the 4 judges of Singing China. And he came on behalf of Flying Stone Records. In the Blue Court Cafe on the top floor of Jinghua Hotel, adjacent to the Blue Sky Entrepreneurial Park, Lu Chen and Lu Shi received the distinguished guest, along with his 2 assistants. Lu Chen, do you really not want to think about it again? Lin Jijie asked seriously. His attitude was very serious. It would be a pity to miss such an opportunity. The music director of Flying Stone Records is in his 40s. He is thin and tall, has a cold appearance, and doesn't like to joke or talk much. In the domestic pop music world, Lin Jijie is not famous outside the circle, but almost everyone in the circle knows him. He used to be an excellent singer-songwriter. Later, he turned behind the scenes and joined Flying Stone Records. He produced a number of best-selling albums for many stars. He was known for his high ability and rigorous work attitude. Lu Chen got to know Lin Jijie because of Singing China. Lin Jijie appreciated Lu Chen's creative talent very much, so he personally came to invite Lu Chen to join his company. In Lin Jijie's view, Lu Chen's signing with Flying Stone Records was an excellent thing for both parties. However, Lu Chen politely refused. At the same time, Lu Chen turned down the new star cultivation fee, which was worth 4 million. The prize money for the winner of Singing China is as high as 5 million. But it is divided into 1 million cash and 4 million new star training funds. Among them, the 1 million yuan after-tax bonus was provided by Beijing Television. In addition to the reward for winning 6 competition and the first prize of the Beijing singing area, Lu Chen won a total of 1 million yuan through the talent competition. And it's all after tax. Beijing Television can be said to have spent a lot of money, but compared with their advertising revenue, it's only a drop in the bucket. The 4 million new star training fund for the champion is even more amazing. The payer is not Beijing Television, but Flying Stone Records. But this is not real money that can be directly obtained. It belongs to a whole set of artist training, packaging and promotion costs, and first of all, an artist contract with Flying Stone Records must be signed. Flying Stone Records is the partner of Beijing Television's Singing China. This clause was indicated in the publicity of the program, so there is no problem of deception. If it's an ordinary newcomer, it doesn't matter at all. To be able to sign with Flying Stone Records is simply a dream. Flying Stone Records is one of the most famous record companies in China. In its most glorious period, it can be called the overlord of the record industry. At that time, the company once had a number of heavenly king and queen level singers. At least 1/3 of the best-selling albums in the 1980s and 1990s were produced by Flying Stone Records. Its logo, a golden stone image with white wings, is familiar to countless people. However, after entering the new century, with the rise of a large number of new media, the maturity and widespread of digital music, coupled with the huge impact of online piracy, the golden age of the record industry is gone forever. Starting in 2003, the operation of Flying Stone Records suffered unprecedented difficulties and was once on the verge of bankruptcy. It was not until 2007, when Superstar Cultural Media injected capital into Flying Stone Records, replaced the senior management who were complacent, and followed the trend of the times to expand various businesses. Finally, the famous company was pulled back from the edge of the cliff. Nowadays, Flying Stone Records' power in the industry is far from its heyday, but it is also in the first-class ranks. This cooperation with Beijing Television shows the ambition of Flying Stone Records. It has successfully signed a number of powerful singers, including Mu Xiaochu, who has a good relationship with Lu Chen. But Lin Jijie believes that those contracted singers added up are not as good as Lu Chen alone. So, he came to make a last-ditch effort. Lu Chen was really moved by Lin Jijie's sincere attitude. It should be known that the other party's status in the circle is not comparable to that of a small newcomer like him. Moreover, neither Beijing Television nor Flying Stone Records set the unspoken rules threshold in the competition of Singing China, which allowed him to win the championship smoothly. Many talent competitions are cooperated with entertainment agencies to train and discover newcomers. Once a good seedling is found, they will sign a contract first. If the contestant does not sign a contract or has signed a contract with another company, then wanting to stand out in the competition is undoubtedly a pipe dream. In the past, Shonan TV was the best at playing this trick, and many excellent contestants were cheated. Later, a large number of revelations were revealed, and they restrained themselves. But even though he was moved, Lu Chen's determination to be an independent artist has not wavered. His career is in the beginning stage, and it is time to vigorously develop. If he runs to Flying Stone Records and starts over again, even with the so-called 4 million new star cultivation fund as the bottom, it will not be worth it. Director Lin, I've thought about it very clearly, Lu Chen said embarrassedly. I don't want to sign a contract with any record company or agency. I'm sorry. That's really a pity. Lin Jijie was very regretful, just like a master craftsman who saw good material and beautiful quality but couldn't get it. However, the music director of Flying Stone Records was not angry or ashamed. He was not so narrow-minded. On the other hand, Lin Jijie's two assistants were more or less disapproving. Are you kidding me? You don't even want such a good opportunity. What's going on in your head? It was unknown how many newcomers outside wanted to get in, not to mention Lin Jijie's support. If it weren't for Lin Jijie not expressing his position, the two assistants would like to teach Lu Chen how to be a qualified newcomer. Nowadays, the newcomers really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. I'm really sorry. Lu Chen put his hands together and apologized again. Lin Jijie smiled open-mindedly, waved his hand and said, "It doesn't matter. There will be opportunities for cooperation in the future." Of course, he was just saying a polite word, and was ready to leave. But Lu Chen's eyes lit up when he heard this, and he immediately said, "Director Lin, I really have a business to cooperate with your company. Can I talk to you a little more?" Lin Jijie was about to get up, but when he heard Lu Chen's words, he sat down again. What business is it? Let's hear it. The two assistants looked at each other and could only sigh that Lin Jijie was really generous and cherished talent. Did Flying Stone Records still lack Lu Chen's business? In the case of being rejected twice before, Lin Jijie not only did not lose face and leave, but also gave him a chance. There was really nothing to say. Director Lin, it's like this. At this time, it was his sister's turn to tell Lin Jijie about the most important business of Lu Chen's studio at present. After listening carefully, Lin Jijie was very surprised. Do you want to give Lu Chen's first album to our Flying Stone Records to record and distribute? Lu, she said with a smile, yes, because Flying Stone Records is the best in China in this regard. It's also our luck that Lu Chen has the honor of knowing Director Lin. Although her sister's character was a little stubborn and cold, she could also say good things, and she said them very well. The importance of this album to Lu Chen was self-evident. In the pop music world, if a singer wanted to release a record, Flying Stone Records was undoubtedly the best channel, no other. Whether it was in the industry influence or in terms of human resources, it could be said to be outstanding. Although nowadays the entertainment industry is taking the idle route, releasing a record is only necessary to enhance the appeal, and it can also go through the online sales channel, and does not necessarily need to rely on a professional record company like Flying Stone. But there was still a demand in this area. Many people in the 1980s and 1990s have nostalgic plots. When they encounter an album by a singer they like, they will buy a CD as a souvenir and listen to it in their spare time. Therefore, Flying Stone Records has always been in the business of record production and distribution, but the scale is far less than before. In other words, what Lu Chen's studio wants to cooperate with is just a small business. Lin Jijie was very curious. Why do you want to release a record? Isn't it better to release it online? That way, the cost will be much lower, and you don't have to worry about not being able to sell it and losing money. Now, 9 out of 10 CDs are sold at a loss. In the past, singers sold records to make money, but now it's a fan economy. They will starve to death by releasing records. Lu Shi said confidently, we are going to release it online and on CD at the same time, mainly in the fan circle. If possible, I would like to visit your company's production department to talk about it in detail face to face. I just need you to help introduce me. Compared with Flying Stone Records, Lu Chen's studio was pitifully weak. If there was no referral, the other party would not take it seriously, and it was unknown how much trouble it would cause. Lu Chen had already made an album sales plan and discussed it with Lu Shi many times in advance. Lu Shi still admired her younger brother's idea. The two siblings were so confident that Lin Jijie secretly sighed. However, he was still very happy to help with this small favor, so he asked his assistant to take a business card to Lu Shi. You can take my business card and go directly to Manager Yin Haoyin of our company's marketing department. He will help you. Lu Chen and Lu Shi looked at each other and said in unison, Thank you, Director Lin. Chapter 138. Young people nowadays are really amazing. Looking at the brother and sister in front of him, Lin Jijie felt that he was really a little old. His thinking can't keep up with the pace of young people. Lu Chen, 22, has just graduated from college and is not majoring in music. He officially made his debut through a talent show with good ratings and became a rising star in the pop music world. And he did not take the road to fame that most newcomers have to take. He did not sign with any agency and directly set up his own studio. Now he is going to release his first album. The speed of his rise is astonishing. Lu Shi, Lu Chen's sister, is also his agent and studio manager, and is also dazzlingly young. Although in Lin Jijie's view, both Lu Chen and Lu Shi are immature enough, the spirit of self-confidence and self-improvement that they share deeply touched the old man in the circle. Tan Hong likes to guide newcomers, and Lin Jijie is not bad, so he helped them. Nowadays, the domestic pop music world is in great need of energetic and capable up-and-coming stars. Lin Jijie shook his head and said, You don't have to thank me. I'm also helping the company to pull business. The key is still up to you. Whether the CD album can be successfully released or not, the quality is the key. Speaking of this, he suddenly remembered that Lu Chen really has no problem in this regard. From the preliminary competition of Singing China to the final, Lu Chen sang all original works. You Who Sat Next to Me, Fly Higher, The Bright Times of Youth, Love in the Wind, and the currently popular Chasing Dream with a Childlike Heart on the internet, all of them were written by him. The first song is excellent, and even classic. After careful calculation, it is not a problem to put together a complete album. As for the quality of the song, what else is there to say? He gave Lu Chen several 10 points as a judge. Lin Jijie immediately swallowed back the latter words and asked, Where are you going to make this album? The music director of Flying Stone Records found that he was slow enough. Lu Chen's album could have been put in his own company to produce promotion and distribution. With the quality of these songs, Lu Chen's talent, coupled with the strong strength of Flying Stone Records, they may be able to create a small miracle and reproduce some of the glory of the record industry in those days. Lin Jijie has always been worried about the decline of the record industry. The appearance of this opportunity immediately made him excited. How could Lu Chen guess Lin Jijie's thoughts? He replied without hesitation, It's currently being produced at Nirvana Studios. 7 songs have been recorded. It should be completed in a week at most. If it weren't for the delay of Singing China national tour competition, his debut album would have been completed. However, this bit of time was nothing at all. It was equivalent to carrying out publicity in advance. Lin Jijie was instantly disappointed. How could you give your debut album to someone else so carelessly? Nirvana Studios? What the hell was that? I've never heard of it. He suddenly stood up and said, Let's go, take me to that studio. I want to give it a try. He secretly made a decision. If the production level of this Nirvana Studios is not good, then he will not care about face. He must pry Lu Chen's business over and do it again. Didn't he say that it was about making money? Nowadays, releasing records is a loss. Lin Jijie doesn't want to see these good songs being ruined, otherwise his conscience will feel uneasy. In the current domestic environment, an excellent original song is hard to come by, let alone an entire album. Lu Chen and Lu Shi looked at each other, not understanding why Lin Jijie was so excited. But the music director of Flying Stone Records must be given face. Lu Chen hurriedly said, "Okay, then I'll take you there now. Nirvana Studios is also in the park. It's very close." Lin Jijie waved his hand, "Let's go." He can't wait to listen to Lu Chen's album, even if it's still a semi-finished product. Lu Shi paid the bill, and then the group left the Blue Court Cafe and rushed to Nirvana Studios. On the way, Lu Chen called Wang Jing to inform her to get ready. When they arrived at Nirvana Studios, all the members came out to greet them. Wang Jing, Wang Hui and Wang Changxing, plus the other 3 members of the Nirvana band, looked very grand. Seeing Lu Chen and others coming over, Wang Jing stepped forward and saluted Lin Jijie and said, "Hello, Teacher Lin." Lin Jijie was shocked by her and said in a daze, "Well, you are?" He has been in the industry for more than 20 years and has taught many apprentices, but there is no one in front of him. Wang Jing explained, 3 years ago, you once gave a public lecture in Jingyin. I listened to it twice and benefited a lot." "Oh." Lin Jijie suddenly realized, "So that's how it is. I was wondering when I had such a beautiful female student." Wang Jing couldn't help laughing. She is a very refreshing girl, with short hair and no makeup, and a little cold and arrogant. But she is also very beautiful, with no obvious flaws in her eyes, nose and mouth. If she dresses up carefully, puts on a skirt and goes out for a walk, it is unknown how many men's hearts she can seduce. Lu Chen has been to Nirvana Studios many times, but he really hasn't seen Wang Jing smile more than a few times. And when she smiles, the surrounding space seems to become bright. Wang Changxing said respectfully, "Director Lin, it's our honor to have you come to our studio." Lin Jijie is very famous in the circle, and has just served as a judge of Singing China. Of course, Wang Changxing knows him, and he is very happy in his heart. This industry big shot visited Nirvana Studios. In the future, he will have light on his face. Lin Jijie is used to seeing all kinds of scenes, and he responded very appropriately, "You're too polite. Let's talk inside." He came to listen to songs, not to socialize. In fact, at this time, Lin Jijie has already complained big about Lu Chen in his heart. This studio looks like a small workshop at first glance. Whether it's the reception room at the front desk or the office inside, they are cramped and unseemly. What good work can be made with such poor conditions? It wasn't until he came to the recording studio that his impression changed. In Lin Jijie's professional eyes, this small recording studio is very professionally arranged, and the equipment investment is not too bad. Nirvana Studios should have used most of their funds on this, so it's so bad outside. This kind of business attitude is still worthy of recognition. However, Lin Jijie still has doubts about the quality of the album. After all, except for Wang Changxing, the other members of Nirvana Studios are young people of about the same age. Because there is no special listening room in the studio, Lin Jijie directly asked for the monitoring headphones to listen to the high-quality sound source that has been recorded. The specific operation was completed by Wang Hui. Lin Jijie spent more than half an hour listening to the story. Due to his special identity, everyone was waiting in the recording studio. Lu Chen and Lu Shi were fine. Wang Changxing, Wang Hui, and Wang Jing all looked nervous and a little expectant. Lin Jijie is a real expert. There is no doubt about his professionalism. He came to Nirvana Studios to listen to Lu Chen's debut album. The level of its evaluation will undoubtedly affect the studio's reputation in the industry. If Lin Jijie said no, then even if Nirvana Studios does not immediately close down, it will be very difficult in the future. Because of the bad reputation, not many customers are willing to send business. But if he could give a few words of praise, then the situation would be completely reversed. In this anxious waiting, Lin Jijie finally finished listening to all the 7 works that have been recorded. He took off the monitoring headphones and looked a little complicated. As far as the current works are concerned, Lin Jijia is not very satisfied. He heard a lot of problems. For example, the arrangement is not perfect enough, the instrumental music accompaniment lacks enough layering and detailed performance, the post-processing technique is slightly immature, and does not fully express the mood and emotion of the song, but it is undeniable that Nirvana Studios is very serious and attentive in making this album. As far as the conditions and equipment here are concerned, it is already very good to rely on the strength of a few young people to achieve this level. He really can't ask for too much. Therefore, Lin Jijia inevitably feels conflicted. On the one hand, he hopes that Lu Chen's debut album is perfect. On the other hand, he does not want or can't bear to discourage these diligent young people. Attitude determines everything. The most important thing is that this is Lu Chen's own choice. Lin Jijia thought for a moment and said, "There are some problems, but overall, it's okay." He pointed out the flaws in the system. If it were someone else, they might not be so serious. They would say something nice and have nothing to do with themselves. But Lin Jijia is not like this. He doesn't like that kind of hypocritical communication. Say what you want to say, and be blunt. For Wang Jing, Wang Hui, and others, this is undoubtedly an excellent learning opportunity for them. Usually, even if the studio spends money to hire someone, they can invite a person of Lin Jijia's level to come and personally guide them. Therefore, everyone listens very carefully. The more critical the words are, the more they keep them in mind. Only when they know the shortcomings can they be corrected. Lin Jijia was so excited that he forgot his own principles and analyzed several songs comprehensively. Lu she doesn't understand. The more she listens, the more uncertain she becomes. She can't help but look at Lu Chen. There are so many problems in the new album. Can it still work? Lu Chen gave her an affirmative look. No matter which company produced an album, it was impossible for it to be truly perfect. Nirvana Studios is really not strong enough, but Wang Jing and Wang Hui's work attitude makes him speechless. Even if there are certain flaws, it will not have much impact on the overall quality. The production cost of 100,000 yuan is already worth it. Chapter 139. Tell me exactly what you think, Lin Jijia asked Lu Chen. What do you think about the release of this album? After listening to the 7 songs in Lu Chen's debut album in the studio, he gave a lot of advice to Wang Jing and Wang Hui. In the end, he still wanted to say more. He pulled Lu Chen to the reception room and asked questions about the release. Originally, Lin Jijia asked Lu Chen to meet to persuade him to join Flying Stone Records, but he didn't achieve his goal. Out of the idea of helping the newcomer, he didn't mind helping Lu Chen with a small favor. It was completely a spur-of-the-moment idea. Lin Jijia suddenly became interested in the album Lu Chen was making, so he came to this small studio to listen to it. As a result, he listened to it as soon as he listened. As the music director of Flying Stone Records, Lin Jijia is also a veteran in the industry. He keenly discovered that Lu Chen's album, in addition to the quality of the work itself, has a very unified and distinct style, which focuses on nostalgia. Completely different from the most popular fast songs, Lu Chen's target group of fans is obviously not those teenage boys and girls, but pop music lovers born in the 1970s, 1980s and early 1990s. This is a huge group. Domestic pop music once had countless brilliance in the 1980s and 1990s. After stepping into the new century, it was influenced by the pop trend in Europe, the United States, Japan and South Korea, and eventually formed the current pattern. What's popular nowadays? It's new idols, little fresh meat, fast songs and dances, rap songs. The new generation of young people pursue fashion and worship stars. They are full of rebellious spirit and don't like the traditional ones of the past. The parents of these boys and girls are the backbone of society, and most of them have good economic conditions. Therefore, they are very willing to spend money to chase stars and like to buy peripheral products of stars and idols. They don't care about spending hundreds or thousands of dollars to watch a concert. Therefore, domestic entertainment media companies desperately cater to their tastes, introduce the things of Europe, the United States, Japan, and South Korea, and localize them, relying on the fan economy to make a lot of money. The competition between entertainment companies is fierce to the extreme. Artists are trained in large numbers like assembly line products, doing their best to consume the huge market brought by young fans. But what about those in the 70s and 80s? They might passively accept new music, or they might fall in love with new idols, but there were still many who missed and persisted in liking the classics of the past. The most typical example was Tan Hong. He was almost in a state of retirement. Last year, when he held a concert at Beijing's National Stadium, tens of thousands of tickets were sold out within 3 days. Why? This was because Tan Hong still had millions of fans who loved him. They might not be young anymore, but they were still powerful. It was just that they were not as willing to spend money on their idols as young people. In Lu Chen's album, the 7 songs that have been completed are all folk songs, with a strong nostalgic flavor. The talent and intention that he has shown in them have moved Lin Jijie. Therefore, Lin Jijie wanted to help Lu Chen more in terms of sales and distribution, so that the album would not be covered in dust. It deserved the honor it deserved. Lu Chen and Lu Shi looked at each other, and the latter motioned for him to answer Lin Jijie's question himself. Lu Chen thought for a moment and said, "Teacher Lin, it's like this." Lu Chen's idea was to record his debut album through Flying Stone Records, including CD and USB flash drive, and at the same time, divide it into 3 versions, Ordinary Edition, Collector's Edition and Deluxe Edition, and determine the quantity by fans ordering. That was to say, however many fans ordered, they would record it here to minimize the risk. In addition to processing, Flying Stone Records would also distribute the album through their channels. This channel was Xinhua Bookstore, which has branches all over the country. Xinhua Bookstore was a large-scale state-owned book distribution enterprise, which has been established for 70 years. It belonged to the National Propaganda Department and China Publishing Group, with up to 15,000 sales outlets, headquartered in Beijing. In the past, when everyone bought books, basically everyone went to Xinhua Bookstore to buy them, especially teaching materials and books. The state also distributed them through Xinhua Bookstore, so the annual sales volume was extremely amazing. But in the new century, the state fully liberalized the restrictions on publishing, coupled with the rise of online shopping. Xinhua Bookstore's hegemonic position has been greatly impacted, and its profit margin has declined year after year. Many branches in remote places rely on renting out storefronts to maintain their business, and selling books doesn't make much money. The predicament faced by Xinhua Bookstore has a lot in common with Flying Stone Records. In recent years, the senior management of the bookstore has also been seeking innovation and change, expanding various operations, and making full use of their advantages. For example, in the past, Xinhua Bookstore sold tapes and CDs, but now these things have been eliminated and declined, and there is no benefit to speak of. The bookstore has in-depth cooperation with entertainment agencies to sell various peripheral products of star idols, and even concert tickets. Due to the influence of Xinhua Bookstore and the fact that they are all genuine, entertainment agencies are also happy to use this channel to expand fan groups, so they have formed a very mature operating process early. Flying Stone Records was one of the partners of Xinhua Bookstore. Lin Jijie understood, you want to pre-sell it online first, and then put it in Xinhua Bookstore to sell it, right? This sales method has been around for a long time. Fans order the peripheral products of stars on the official website, get the corresponding authentication code, and then take their mobile phone to the local Xinhua Bookstore sales outlet to scan it, and then they can get the things. For entertainment agencies, this sales method is big, relieving their pressure. They only need to hand over all the produced products to Xinhua Bookstore, and with the help of the latter's strong logistics system and huge sales network, they can ship the goods. Coupled with direct sales on the website, a perfect sales system has been formed, and the cost has been reduced to a reasonable level. Lu Chen said with a smile, yes. He actually has a different sales plan from others, which is inspiration from the dream world. It's just that it's not convenient to tell Lin Jijie for the time being. Lin Jijie nodded in approval. Lu Chen obviously did a lot of homework in advance, and has a basic understanding of this release process. The choice of Flying Stone Records for cooperation was certainly not a temporary idea. It was obviously carefully considered. But this does not mean that Lin Jijie is very optimistic about the sales prospects of this album. After all, Lu Chen is still a newcomer who has just made his debut. Although he has accumulated a lot of popularity by winning the championship in Singing China, it is not a simple matter to turn popularity into real benefits. Lu Chen's biggest problem is that he doesn't have a complete and experienced team to support him behind the scenes, lacks interpersonal resources, and is doomed to not go far by relying on the impulsive spending of a few fans. Lin Jijie really didn't want to pour cold water on Lu Chen. Moreover, it's not purely a bad thing for young people to suffer some setbacks. So he didn't say anything more. Then hurry up and finish this album. I should be able to help with Flying Stone Records. Lu Chen was grateful. Thank you, Teacher Lin. With the help of the music director of Flying Stone Records, it will be much easier for him to release the album there. Lin Jijie said solemnly, remember to pay attention to quality. You can't be sloppy in the details, and, he asked, did you ask Wang Jing to do your arrangement? Lu Chen replied, yes. Lin Jijie pondered for a moment and reminded, you have to strengthen this aspect. With your talent, only by participating in the arrangement yourself can you fully express the essence of the work to the greatest extent. Truly excellent singer-songwriters can often write songs and arrange music. Of course, it doesn't mean that composing music must be very good at arranging music, but having both will undoubtedly greatly improve the work. After all, others may not be able to fully understand the intentions of the creator, and there are obstacles in communication. Lu Chen is not a professional, and it's normal for him to be weak in arranging music. Lin Jijie hopes that he can make up for this shortcoming. Lu Chen said with surprise, I've thought about it. I want to attend lectures at Beijing Conservatory of Music or Beiying, but I heard that it's very difficult to get a permit. Lu Chen has long had this idea, but he asked Wang Jing and knew that it was very difficult to get a permit whether it was Beijing Conservatory of Music or Beiying. The college is very strict, and only a few permits are issued a year. As for other private institutions that can be casually entered with money, it's better to save it. Lin Jijie said with a smile, it's good to have a spirit of learning. I know 2 professors at Beijing Conservatory of Music. Maybe they can help you get a permit, but it's not 100% guaranteed. Even if it's not guaranteed, it's already a surprise. Lu Chen said quickly, thank you, Teacher Lin. You've thanked me many times today. Lin Jijie waved his hand and said, since you call me teacher, it's also our fate. I'm willing to help if I can. The key is still your own efforts. As long as it doesn't affect the interests of himself and the company, Lin Jijie is very willing to help the promising young man in front of him. What he sees in Lu Chen is a quality that is different from others. Why not do a small favor and make a good karma? Lu Chen nodded vigorously. He knew that this favor was really owed, and he would have to return it when he had the chance in the future. Lu Chen is undoubtedly lucky. On this starry road to success, he has certainly met Zhao Depaying, Jin Hongwei, Zhuang Hao, and Qin Jinhao, but also met Qin Jinhao, Tan Hong, and Lin Jijie, such as guides. Lu Chen and Lu Shi together saw off Lin Jijie and his party. Back in her studio, Lu Shi turned out her notepad and said to him, at 2 o'clock this afternoon, you have to go to EMI Culture Brokerage Company. I've already talked to Wen Ziyuan, the director of the brokerage department over there. He will arrange for artists to meet you for an interview. Lu Chen said without hesitation, okay. He wants to make money, a lot of money. Chapter 140. Beijing 4th Ring Road, Delong Building. Delong Building is very famous in this high-rise financial and business district, because it gathers a number of first-class entertainment media and music production companies in Beijing, such as Tianjai Music Workshop, Golden Disc Culture, Sunshine Records, and so on. Therefore, people who work in this building can often see star idols coming in and out. In any corner outside the building, there may be entertainment reporters, commonly known as paparazzi, squatting there. EMI Cultural Brokerage Company is also in Delong Building, but the strength and scale of this medium-sized brokerage company is incomparable with that of Golden Disc Culture. Its office is located on the 7th floor, which is a poor location. There is a saying in the entertainment industry that if multiple companies are in the same building, the stronger and more famous they tend to live higher. Otherwise, they would rather find another place than be willing to live under others. This may not be very reliable, but at least in DeLong Building, the situation is really similar. Nevertheless, those who can occupy a place in DeLong Building are not ordinary small companies. EMI Cultural Brokerage Company has dozens of artists and hundreds of trainees. Among the artists who have already made their debut, there are many second and third-tier star idols, and their strength is not bad. It is said that there are as many as 2,000 entertainment brokerage companies in Beijing, but only 1/10 of them are really qualified. It's past 1:00 in the afternoon, when the weather is the hottest. Although the central air conditioning in DeLong Building is running well and the air conditioning is sufficient, Wen Ziyuan, who is sitting in the office, still feels bored. He drank 2 bottles of iced mineral water in a row, and there is still an inexplicable evil fire in his body, which makes his forehead constantly ooze fine sweat. This 40-year-old middle-aged fat man is the director of the brokerage department of EMI Cultural Brokerage Company. The brokerage department is the most important department of a brokerage company, and the director's position is in the middle and senior management of the company. However, Wen Ziyuan has never had the pleasure of holding power. Because the brokerage department has a large power and a high budget, there are many mother-in-law who reach out to manage it. There are the general manager, director, deputy general manager, deputy director, and department manager and deputy manager. There are 3 directors who are at the same level as him. Apart from one of the trainee supervisors, the other 2 are not easy to deal with. On the one hand, Wen Ziyuan has to manage his artists and agents well. On the other hand, he has to guard against the open and covert attacks of competitors in the same department. His days are not going well. Especially in the recent period, several of Wen Ziyuan's contracted artists were very restless. One of them made a scandal and was exposed by the media. He desperately wiped his ass and was laughed at by the public relations department. Wen Ziyuan really wanted to quit, but when he thought of the mortgage that would take him 15 years to pay off, he could only endure it. Pa! Pa! Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. Wen Ziyuan couldn't help but straighten his back. He grabbed the tissue on the table and wiped the sweat off his face. He quickly threw away the wet towel and said in a deep voice, "Please come in." In front of his subordinates, Wen Ziyuan still paid great attention to his image. Otherwise, it would be difficult for them to revere him. The door was forcefully pushed open, and 2 women walked in. Seeing the middle-aged woman walking in front of him, Wen Ziyuan felt that his already big head had grown even bigger. His brain was hurting. The middle-aged woman was dressed very well. Her long skirt, high-heeled shoes, leather bag and jewelry were all famous brands. However, her appearance was really unworthy of these expensive goods. She was not only ordinary but also slightly fierce. But she obviously didn't have the consciousness of hiding her incompetence. Her nostrils were up and she was arrogant, as if she was the owner here. The woman behind the middle-aged woman was undoubtedly much younger and more beautiful. She had phoenix eyes and willow leaf eyebrows. Her makeup was exquisite, and her expression was arrogant, which was somewhat similar to the former. Walking in front of Wen Ziyuan, the young woman smiled and said, "Director Wen." Wen Ziyuan sighed in his heart and barely squeezed out a smile on his face. "Shu Hui, you are here." Zhang Shu Hui, a contracted artist of EMI Cultural Agency, just made her debut 2 months ago. The middle-aged woman who came with Zhang Shu Hui was Zhang Shu Hui's agent, Zhang Qiong, and also her aunt. This is not an ordinary person. She has a shrewd personality, and has a relationship with the upper management of the company. Although Zhang Qiong is Wen Ziyuan's subordinate in name, in fact, Wen Ziyuan can't command her at all. These 2 are the so-called arrogant soldiers and valiant generals. There was no need to guess. Wen Ziyuan also knew that the other party came with bad intentions. He was extremely tired in his heart, but he still had to smile. "Sit down, sit down." Zhang Qiong was not polite at all. She pulled Zhang Shuhui to sit down on the sofa, and then asked straightforwardly, Director Wen, I heard that you applied for a sum of money to buy songs for Shuhui, right? Wen Ziyuan nodded and said, yes, it's 2 billion yuan in total. I have, according to the company's procedures, contracted artists like Zhang Shuhui need to apply for important expenses related to training, packaging, publicity and promotion, and they can only be allocated after approval. This is also one of the greatest powers that Wen Ziyuan has as the director of the brokerage department. He applied for this fund for Zhang Shuhui in order to make this ant calm down and let himself live a long life. I know. Zhang Qiong interrupted Wen Ziyuan's words directly and asked, I heard that you are going to invite songs from a newcomer, and that a song is 250,000 yuan. Is that right? Wen Ziyuan suppressed his inner dissatisfaction and patiently explained, it's like this. This newcomer is very unusual. He is the champion of Singing China. His songs have been at the top of the original music chart for 4 weeks in a row. He is a very talented singer-songwriter. I think, Director Wen. Zhang Qiong interrupted again, I don't think any newcomer's work can be worth 250,000 yuan. Even if his work is on the original music chart, so what? His creative style is completely incompatible with my family's Shuhui. How can he write well? Shuhui and I both contributed to the application for this fund, so I don't agree with you to buy songs from that newcomer named Lu Chen. The risk is too great. I think Shiyu will be a better choice. Her lips curled up with a faint sneer. 250,000 yuan is enough to buy 3 songs. Wen Ziyuan was stimulated by her, did you eat a kickback, look, and the blue veins on his temples bulged. He almost went berserk on the spot. Heaven pity him. He bought songs from Lu Chen for Zhang Shuhui's sake. Zhang Shuhui has been a new generation singer for some time. Although the company has spent a lot of effort to package and hype, it has never been promoted, because there are many newcomers of the same quality in the entertainment industry. In terms of appearance, Zhang Shuhui is not the most beautiful. In terms of singing skills, she is just an ordinary qualified level. In terms of talent, cough. Not to mention talent, she has no distinctive characteristics and advantages. If she wants to become popular, she must find another way. Buying an excellent work suitable for Zhang Shuhui was when Ziyuan came up with the idea. In the pop music world, there has always been a saying that people become famous because of songs. If an ordinary singer sings a good song right, he may become popular. Even if packaging and hype are now paid attention to, the factor of the work is still important. Many people desperately cover, imitate and even plagiarize works of Europe, the United States, Japan and South Korea. What's the purpose of that? As a newly rising singer-songwriter in the pop music world, Wen Ziyuan has been eyeing Lu Chen for a long time. After learning that the latter has opened a studio, he specially sent someone to contact him. It wasn't until the end of Singing China that Wen Ziyuan finally made up his mind to buy songs from Lu Chen at a high price. Because he believes that Lu Chen has enough creative strength. He never thought that his painstaking efforts would be questioned by Zhang Qiong. The Xiyu mentioned by the other party is a songwriter who has become famous very early. He is good at love songs and saliva songs, and has always had business contacts with EMI Culture Brokerage Company. 250,000 yuan is indeed enough to invite 3 songs from Xiyu, but Wen Ziyuan believes that the talent of this person is almost exhausted. If compared, Lu Chen is like the rising sun, full of vitality and vitality in creation. Xiyu, that is the setting sun that is about to set. As for the problem of style, it's really not a big problem. Wen Ziyuan wanted to explain patiently, but Zhang Qiong's eyes made him disheartened. His straight waist bent down again, and he said dejectedly, what you said makes sense. Well, let's do it according to what you mean and invite songs from Xiyu. Seeing Wen Ziyuan's dejected look, Zhang Shuhui, who had never spoken, couldn't bear it. She turned to Zhang Qiong and said, Aunt. Zhang Qiong squeezed her hand and said, it's right to listen to me. Since Director Wen agreed, there's no problem. She got up and said, sorry to bother you. We'll go first. Wen Ziyuan waved his hand weakly and didn't bother to look at the other party's proud face. He knew that Zhang Qiong's real intention was to fight for power. After Zhang Qiong and Zhang Shuhui left, it took Wen Ziyuan a long time to catch his breath and laugh. What the F***ck was going on? Ring ring. At this time, the phone on the table rang. Wen Ziyuan reached out and picked it up. The sweet voice of the front desk lady came from the phone. Director Wen, Mr. Lu Chen is here to see you. Wen Ziyuan suddenly remembered that he had an appointment with Lu Chen's studio in the afternoon. The other party came to test the sound. This was really troublesome. Wen Ziyuan couldn't wait to slap himself in the face. Of course, he could let Lu Chen leave directly, but in this way, he would completely offend him. If it was spread out, he would lose face. It was definitely not a wise choice. But how could Wen Ziyuan tell Lu Chen that his artists were disobedient and didn't want to buy his songs? He would still offend people. Hello. Director Wen, are you there? Wen Ziyuan came to his senses and said quickly, yes, please ask Mr. Lu to sit down in the reception room first. Be sure to entertain him warmly. I'll come over as soon as I finish my work. The front desk lady promised, okay. Putting down the phone, Wen Ziyuan was already sweating and almost burst into tears. Duh. The door of the office was knocked again. Chapter 141. It's not over yet. Wen Ziyuan almost smashed the mineral water bottle in his hand at the door. Will you let me be alone? He took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, please come in. Since sitting in this position, Wen Ziyuan has felt that he has become a teenage mutant ninja turtle. There are a group of mother-in-law and uncles pointing fingers at him, and a group of arrogant soldiers and generals doing their own thing. He is caught in the middle of being bullied on both sides. To be able to live until now without his blood vessels bursting, he must have burned 30,000 pounds of incense in his previous life. The door was gently pushed open, and a skinny middle-aged man came in with a girl with a ponytail. Hello, Director Wen. The middle-aged man came in and bowed to greet him, with a flattering smile on his dark face that was wrinkled like an orange peel. The girl who followed him bowed at the same time. Director Wen, sorry to disturb you. Seeing that it was these two instead of the original two masters, Wen Ziyuan immediately breathed a big sigh of relief. He stretched out his hand and pressed it twice, then said with a smile, you're welcome. Take a seat. There's water in the fridge. The middle-aged man hurriedly said, thank you. He quickly walked over, opened the refrigerator in the corner and took out 2 bottles of iced mineral water. One bottle was sent to Wen Ziyuan's table first, and the other was handed to the ponytail girl who had just sat down. Everyone knows that Wen Ziyuan likes to drink iced mineral water, and the bottle in his hand has been emptied. The other party's respect made Wen Ziyuan show a sincere smile. The middle-aged man's name is Li Zhigao, an agent under him. Among the many agents of EMI brokerage company, Li Zhigao belongs to the bottom. He hasn't been in the industry for a long time, and he doesn't have any connections in the circle, so he can only lead very ordinary newcomers. The ponytail girl he brought with him is called Tang Xiaoqiao. She is 19 years old, 1.65 meters tall, with an oval face and big eyes. Her appearance is not bad. She was one of the top 10 contestants in a talent show last year. After EMI brokerage company signed her, she was trained for just over half a year before she was launched. So far, she is still a small artist who brushes small notices. Few people know her name when she walks on the street. In recent years, there have been too many artists who have come out through the talent show. Except for a few lucky people, most of them are similar to Tang Xiaoqiao, and many have even quit the entertainment industry and returned to their original life. The competition in this industry was too fierce. Tang Xiaoqiao is an insignificant role among the company's artists, so she was thrown to Li Zhigao. Wen Ziyuan still had a good impression of Li Zhigao. Although Li Zhigao's ability was not very good, he respected him very much and was willing to do hard work without complaint. If his subordinates were all like Li Zhigao, then his position would be very comfortable. It was because of this reason that Wen Ziyuan was willing to take care of her under appropriate circumstances. He asked pleasantly, "Old Li, why did you bring Xiao Xiao here?" Li Zigahaf sat on the sofa, straightened his back and asked cautiously, "Director Wen, I heard that you are going to invite Lu Chen, the champion of singing China, to sing a song, is that right?" Wen Ziyuan was stunned. Not many people knew about this. Where did Li Zhigao hear it? However, when he saw the expression on the other party's face, he understood. That must be because Zhang Qiong, that stinky woman, had just gone out and talked nonsense outside, deliberately slapping his face. As a result, even Li Zhigao knew about it. Wen Ziyuan was inwardly infuriated, but it was not good to attack Li Zhigao. He sighed and said, "Yes, now Lu Chen's people are here in the reception room outside." As a result, Zhang Qiong insisted on changing people, so I don't know how to explain it to him. Li Zhigao's mouth was still very reliable, and it was nothing to complain about. Unexpectedly, Li Zhigao showed a look of surprise. "Is everyone here?" "Director Wen, Xiao Xiao, can you?" He stuttered incoherently. Wen Ziyuan understood and shook his head again and said, "Old Li, it's not that I don't want to help you. Lu Chen's asking price for a song is 250,000 yuan. I can help Zhang Shuhui apply for this money. I really can't do anything about Xiao Xiao. Any agency company, including EMI Culture, has an internal rank sequence for its contracted artists. The higher the rank, the more resources they get. This is a clear rule. In EMI agency, they are also artists under Wen Ziyuan. If Zhang Shuhui's ranking is B, then Tang Xiaoqiao is D. The difference between the two is really big. Therefore, Wen Ziyuan can apply for 250,000 yuan to buy songs for Zhang Shuhui, while Tang Xiaoqiao can only get 50,000 yuan at most. Wen Ziyuan really wanted to help but couldn't. The main reason was that Lu Chen's asking price was really too high. No newcomer dared to offer such a high price. Zhang Qiong's objection was not entirely unreasonable. Wen Ziyuan's heart was bitter. At this time, Tang Xiaoqiao, who was sitting on the sofa, bit her lip and suddenly said, "Uncle Wen, if I am willing to pay half of the money myself, is that okay?" Wen Ziyuan was shocked. You'll pay for it yourself? It's normal for singers to pay for their own songs, but Tang Xiaoqiao is a new artist who has just made her debut. Wen Ziyuan knows that her family is very ordinary. The money she earns through the company is just enough to eat in Beijing. It's difficult for her to eat well. Now, she actually wants to take out more than 100,000 yuan to buy songs, which really shocked Wen Ziyuan. This is burning the boat. If the contracted artists of an agency company want to buy songs, they can't be willful and casual. According to the rules, they must be arranged through the company, because it also involves the issues of production, publicity, and promotion. In fact, many entertainment agencies don't like artists to make their own decisions. Tang Xiaoqiao asked Wen Ziyuan to take the initiative to buy songs from Lu Chen, which undoubtedly took a lot of courage. The timing was also just right. But, Wen Ziyuan still shook his head. Half is not enough. It's not that he is hard-hearted, but that the company has its own rules. He is a small department head and has no ability to let the higher-ups break the rules and raise Tang Xiaoqiao's rank. Li Ziga said, "Director Wen, Xiaoqiao will pay 100,000 yuan herself, I will pay 50,000 yuan, and you can help her apply for another 100,000 yuan." He looked at Wen Ziyuan and said with a very sincere attitude, "Xiaoqiao, this child is not easy, please help her." Had Old Li gone mad? Wen Ziyuan was simply stunned and couldn't believe it. 50,000 yuan, I'm afraid, is all this person's savings. How can there be an agent like this? But at the same time, the brokerage director was also very moved. In the entertainment industry, not many agents can do this for their contracted artists. Most people try to squeeze out the value of the latter and finally spit it out like bagasse. Therefore, many star idols choose their relatives and friends as agents, even if the other party doesn't know anything at all. Snap! Wen Ziyuan slammed the table, got up and said, "That's fine. Since Xiaoqiao calls me uncle, I, as your uncle, will sell this old face to help you once and apply for 100,000 yuan to buy songs for you. Li Zigu and Tang Xiaoqiao were both overjoyed. Thank you, Director Wen/Uncle Wen. The two didn't have much hope at first, they just wanted to try to fight for a chance for themselves. Unexpectedly, it really moved Wen Ziyuan. Wen Ziyuan smiled, waved his hand and said, "You don't need to thank me. If you want to thank me, then work hard. Let's go to see teacher Lu Chen now. Remember to be polite and don't neglect him." It was also Tang Xiaoqiao's good luck. If Zhang Xiong hadn't fallen out with him, this opportunity would not have fallen to Tang Xiaoqiao at all. And if Zhang Xiong hadn't forced him so much that he couldn't bear it, he wouldn't have wanted to fight for it once. If he doesn't fight back, then he will only be stepped on by Zhang Xiong more. Wen Ziyuan was actually betting that Lu Chen's strength was as strong as he expected. A singer-songwriter who wrote, "In the spring, you who sat next to me," and "The brightest star in the night sky," should have no problem writing a song suitable for girls, right? Wen Ziyuan, who took Li Zhigao and Tang Xiaoqiao to the reception room, was not fully sure in his heart. EMI Cultural Brokerage Company, reception room. Lu Chen and Li Feiyu had been sitting and waiting for 10 minutes. To be honest, Lu Chen was a little unhappy in his heart. He took the initiative to come to the door to test the sound, but he sat on the sofa and waited. But the receptionist was very beautiful and polite, and the coffee she provided was also very fragrant, so he could bear it. Li Feiyu was fascinated by the big-chested and white-skinned receptionist, and kept peeping at her while drinking coffee. Lu Chen suspected that he was a receptionist. There was still Sister Xiao Mei over at the studio. This must be teacher Lu Chen, right? Just when Lu Chen began to get a little impatient, 3 people appeared at the door of the reception room. Among them, the one who walked in the front was a middle-aged fat man with a big waist, who smiled like Maitreya Buddha. "I'm sorry, I'm really sorry to have kept you waiting." He came over and held out his hands to Lu Chen. "I'm Wen Ziyuan, director of the EMI brokerage department. Nice to meet you." Don't hit a smiling face. Wen Ziyuan's sincere attitude made the unhappiness in Lu Chen's heart disappear. He stood up and shook hands with the other party and said with a smile, "Hello, Director Wen. We haven't been waiting for long. Your company's coffee is very good." Wen Ziyuan let go of his hand and said with a smile, "Our boss brought this coffee from Brazil. It's not available in China. Teacher Lu Chen, if you like it, I'll ask Xiaowang to pack some for you to try." Lu Chen couldn't help laughing. "Director Wen, you're too polite. Just call me Lu Chen." Wen Ziyuan said, "You are one of the judges of next season's Singing China. You are worthy of the title of teacher." The first season of Beijing Television's Singing China was very successful, and the ratings were better than Shonan TV's Super Singer, and the production task for the second season next year has been booked. At that time, more singers are bound to participate. In Wen Ziyuan's application for inviting Lu Chen to sing, Lu Chen's identity as a judge of the next season of Singing China was also written. Lu Chen said modestly, "I'm just a judge of the audition in the singing area." Singing China has a total of 7 singing areas. In addition to the Beijing singing area, the other singing areas have different audition judges. Lu Chen serves as one of them, not one of the 4 judges who decide the winner. Beijing Television has already informed Lu Chen of this, which is nothing more than a publicity stunt. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.